talking as a minister is because of His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And I want to declare for those people who have been saying, no, Bowman is a bootlicker. I am the #1 bootlicker for His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu. President ngabanje batshana kushana ngabanje batoloka kutoloka.
My president, your president, our president, wow! Edgar Chagwa Lungu, my president, your president, our president, wow!
Well, it's good to say that those days are over of bona fide bootlicking. So today's topics are mostly going to be dealing with the minerals that we have in Zambia, because we are having reports that gold is being stolen from Zambia, because foreigners are flying into Zambia and they are pretty much stealing our gold and all the precious mineral resources that we have. So we are going to be talking about the best way to maximize on our mineral resources, because we have a lot of debt and we are saying that we do not have a lot of money. On the other hand, we are blessed with a lot of good things. So we just need to find a way to maximize everything. So we're also going to be talking about Laura Miti's rating of President Hakainde Hichilema's 100 days in power. And then we're also going to be talking about the cadres who are operating at ZESCO. So these are one of the, well, amongst the many things that we are going to be discussing. So anyhow, let me play you one more thing with regards to the gold in Western, Northwestern province. So let me just play. This is something from way back. I'm sure you guys remember this. So hold on.
We respected the license holders and said, because they were these license holders, let's allow them to do the work. We met.
This is exploration.
This, unfortunately, this is mine.
This is mine.
This is not exploration.
So you've allowed them to dig any mine?
No, Your Excellency. I have directed my PS to immediately stop the operation, and further, immediately after Cabinet approved that ZCMIH becomes an anchor company, and working together with the license holders and other investors will take over the operation.
Exploration licenses and mining licenses.
Yes.
So they currently the group here is
Supposed to be doing exploration, Your Excellency.
No mine.
In the process of exploring.
Before we continue, I would love to remind you to kindly share this video. It really helps us a lot, because we are going to be talking about eye-opening things. So I can see there's more than 500 people watching us. Each and every one of you, yep, I'm talking to you right there. Kindly share this on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups, because it really helps us grow the platform. So kindly share the video before we continue. And good evening. How was your day? It's always good to see your lovely face. And thank you for being part of Z Corner.
They went ahead.
Does anyone have a mining license?
They don't have.
I don't believe he's a bad man. I just think he's blinded. He's blinded by greedy ministers, greedy cabinet ministers, greedy permanent secretaries, greedy provincial district commissioners, greedy advisors. These are the things we are concerned about. Wakateka mule kwata ko upampamina iliana ni ilia. You understand? Kalia akampasha kabuhule kalia. You understand? Wakateka kalia uchenjeshi kalia aka amano ya chifyalidwa mule kakwata kalia. You know, akamfyashi kalia kamukorwe kind of spirit. You know, mule mono mukorwe. The way a cock behaves around hens, you can tell that is a cock. Those are hens, those are chicks. That's what we need from our president, to speak for Zambians. We voted for you.
When we discovered oil, presence of oil on our soil in Zambia, an important oil company from America came to join us. They began doing wonderful things there, investing, getting ready to start exploiting our oil resources. You know what happened? They appointed somebody called a resident director in Zambia.
To manage the oil.
To manage the oil, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then one day he came to me, Mr. President, can I invite you, come and see what we are doing by way of exploiting oil in your own country? I said, most welcome. So I put him on my plane, the fighter, the government aeroplane. We went to a certain district. We found the military choppers there. We got into those choppers. We went to this place where the exploitation was taking place. Now, Harry, this was wonderful, really incredible. Big machines here and all over. A real development. And I was saying, thank God, thank God. Now copper and oil now will have power, real power. We'll be able to feed our people, do everything that we have been doing, even more. After a month or so, I received the shock of my life.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So we have seen several presidents talking about the fact that we have a lot of mineral resources. During the tenure of Edgar Lungu, right? Gold was blatantly, discovered. And well, we've had gold for like a very long period of time since independence. We've had oil since independence. We've had diamonds since independence. We've had natural gas since independence. But why are we still, trying to pay heavy loans and just trying to get ourselves out of this particular financial mess when we have a lot of resources at our disposal? So let me share something that came to my attention a few hours ago. So this was published by Movie TV, which I believe is a very credible source. According to this information, foreigners invade Mumbwa in search of gold as children become miners and prostitutes. Foreigners have invaded gold mines in Mumbwa district in an area called Matala. The foreigners are buying gold from illegal miners who have created camps in the area. The illegal miners are, however, facing challenges of accessing clean and safe drinking water. Investigations reveal that some illegal miners are children and women are exposed to illicit activities, with underage drinking and prostitution taking center stage at night. Well, this is what happens. This is what happens ganam kwataba kateka abataba kwata ichkuku chaka mukolwe, just like we witnessed right over here. And one thing that I want to remind you is these clique of thieves do know about all these mineral resources that we have at Ishiba. These people know everything that we have. They know what is in our land, and they are aware of what is happening. There's a lot of planes flying in and out of Zambia, taking and ferrying our mineral resources away while our people are languishing in poverty. And just take a look at this particular reaction right over here. If you look at this reaction from the let's watch it one more time.
We respected the license holders and said, because there were these license holders, let's allow them to do the work. We met.
This is exploration.
Unfortunately, this is mine.
This is mine.
This is not exploration.
So you've allowed them to legally mine.
No, Your Excellency, I have directed my PS to immediately stop the operation, and further, immediately after Cabinet approved that ZESCO becomes an anchor company, and working together with the license holders and other investors will take over the operation.
Exploration licenses and mining licenses.
Yes.
So currently the group here
It's supposed to be doing exploration, Your Excellency.
No mining.
In the process of exploration.
Now, surely, Mwebantu, with that tone of voice and with that reaction, do you think people would have the urgency to change the problem and just basically get to fix it? So these are things that used to happen, and we really pray as youths that this is not going to continue happening, and we should have solutions to our own problems. And we have a lot of blessings. We've got a lot of mineral resources. There's no way we can be having electricity problems year in, year out when we have gold that we can easily manage. The only thing is we are failing to manage our resources. We are failing to do so because of what? Because the clique of thieves have, taken over the situation, and they're trying to like step over all these things. But if we have unselfish leaders who look out for the interest of the majority of Zambians, right, we wouldn't be having these problems. Now, let me also play you something which is very heartbreaking, because this is not only happening in Northwestern Province, it's happening in most parts of Zambia. So this is very heartbreaking. And, let's just watch this together, because this really broke my heart. And this is one of the reasons why we are trying to, talk about these things. So there's a kid. Anyway, let her tell her own story.
Chikwa roji songa bakutola ku chikwa roji kude nomba myambuchitenji bakutwala roji yabera ku ishina roji lishinanji chikwa roji songa bakutola ku chikwa roji kude nomba myambuchitenji Nanja utature umfwa wala mkulara kuma Chinese so Chinese wafwa vya baiche vya baiche bataba fyara kwa bana Chinese wafwa no so iyo Chinese wa mwishibesha
na bali ntumilifona testa isangu monepo elo Chinese size na mpaka kudola alira wanchi walanda chisura usamuna mu Chinese ingira na mwe bantu wana mukisa aingira na mjamu mukati waisa sitena nankana baisa landa na mukisa Oshala linda mukunda mchana.
So barakutumira abantu bamafoni atisa. Bamukula Chinese rero bantu bakupere njyo.
Nipuye virifi.
Bantu bakupere njyo.
Bantu tafefya kufola mpana 200.
Bakustire kwa kwa 200. Okay, ero no manje. Ero wanagona poga ngati. Kamba che bazona notu kaziyopa.
Nikabi.
Nzokamba tunaenda kwa
naenda ukalifa baji mkaviri.
Ero ujamuzake uzokamba ni ndani zino. Made na hivyo mnapo mwenda na hivyo.
Wanamugona poka moja.
Na hivyo wanamugona. Kwa Chinese meni amu. Ero hivyo meni na maizi ngati.
15 chilinga.
Mlinga na 15. So Chinese gafuna chetu bana tumuona. So banti banu bajawa pasa ndara mu Chinese.
Masiri.
Wasira ndrama kumchanisa kutanga cha series imwe series kumbebene mwenzo chita series then abapasa ndrama manje bacha bamanti bana yero banti banu bakapasa ndrama master kwanje wewe
bayipasako bayipelekeza na kula
no then vina ngomena machi wangu sema mugwira po vilivonze vama kugwira po vilivonze banti babo
bana nipasita demo mkwala nkasirizo
ngati mwasirizo chita na Chinese then baba kupasa mkwara banti bako amene yabo wacha ni mkwara
atinazo ukankale na mimi
no tungangane na mimi no then komena magulira vichani vina kwenda magulira kwa banti bako.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is happening in Zambia right now, today. Notati Akale Shansha. This is actually happening. So now let's go back to the issue of our mineral resources. This is information coming from Ask Movie TV. Number one, the foreigners are getting our gold while you are languishing in poverty. They are stealing our gold. Our children are being raped. They are forced into prostitution. What are we doing about it? And that lady, that small girl who could be my young sister, she could be my daughter, she could be my cousin. That's happening today, right now. What are we doing about it? And this lady, this young girl, is coming from Chawama. Chawama, the MP of Chawama is Tasila Lungu, right? So these are the situations and the issues where people are supposed to be aggressive. You know, tomorrow is a Monday, and she's going to be in office. She is the MP of Chawama, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, kindly, correct me. So there is that particular case where we have a minor being forced to have sex with foreigners for peanuts. This problem needs to be solved. She needs you and I, the people in Mumbwa who are forced to go into prostitution. There's a lot of labor laws which are being infringed in Mumbwa because miners are going into illegal gold mining and they're selling it to foreigners. These foreigners are flying out of Zambia with all the gold that we have while we are sleeping. Okay, so this used to happen over and over and over again. But anyhow, I have at least some high hopes because we recently saw very good intentions, and it's always good to have intentions and trying to progressively solve a problem. And this is one of the reasons why we are seeing efforts by, let's say, President Hakainde Hichilema. For example, here he just recently visited the Democratic Republic of Congo, and you and I know that Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo are blessed with minerals that are needed for the electric vehicle industry. Now, this is an industry which is disrupting the automobile industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Zambia is blessed with these mineral resources. All we have to do is properly manage these resources, collaborate, and come up with factories and get to benefit off of the value chain of motor vehicles. The only thing that we need to do is not be greedy, not let the clique of thieves hijack the whole operation, and let's just set up the factories and do everything that we need to do in order for us to participate in this electric vehicle value chain. All we have to do is just manage our resources. Chapwa, managing our resources. Kwasila, you know? So anyhow, as you can see right over here, a few days ago, right, the president visited the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the theme was develop a regional value chain around electric battery industry and the market for electric vehicles and clean energy in Africa. So if we have steps like this, right, we are definitely going to be able to benefit from our mineral resources. So number one, our gold, we've discovered gold, but we're not really benefiting anything from it. Foreigners are coming to steal that gold, and they're coming to rape our women, our kids, and we're not doing anything about it. So we need to sober up. So I can see some people joining in. So let me just invite people to say a few things before I continue. And before we are definitely going to be able to benefit. And please, if you join, do not play anything in the background. That it's annoying when you join the link, right? Forget about everything. Just listen to me and don't play the video in the background. You know, it produces feedback and then it just ruins the whole mood. Welcome to the show, Richard. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Moon, and how are you?
I'm good. If you're going to use Mona, just call me Mona. If you say Mr. Mona, that's weird. Unless you use the whole name Nalula. So if you're going to use Mona, just say Mona.
Okay, Mona.
Yeah, where you tuning? Where you calling from? Where you joining us from?
From Lusaka, Kamwala South.
Lovely. So, what do you think about the mineral issues that we're having? Like, why doesn't Zambia maximize from all the mineral resources that we have? Why are we still languishing in poverty and having a lot of debt while we have mineral resources at our disposal?
Okay, actually, I've been having that question since I don't know, even through PF, because during PF I could hear in such a place they've discovered minerals and all that, but I haven't seen much of our presidents or the government taking keen interest, real interest into such issues, so that you know, those companies or those minerals are being mined by the government or the people of Zambia. We hear people reporting and all that, but I feel, I don't know, maybe sometimes I think maybe when somebody becomes the president, they don't get to see certain things. You know, they don't get to see certain things, and I don't know whether it takes the people around him to inform the president that there are such and such things happening. But I don't see much actions coming from the president or the government, you know, to protect the minerals for the Zambians. But for our current president, for me, I think it's just too early to judge him. But some of us will judge him based on such issues that are coming out right now.
Yeah. So,
me,
Brother Richard,
yes.
we already understand that Zambia is endowed with a lot of mineral resources, right? So
yes.
What are we going to do as youths to make the president make such issues a priority? And even the MPs, the members of parliament, they need to be raising such notions in parliament. So how are we going to relay to these MPs, to the president, that these are the issues we need resolved? What is your role as a youth, and what roles should Zambian citizens play in order for us to remind these leaders that you are in parliament to bring about solutions to these current problems that we're having? How can we remind them?
Okay. For me, I think the first step is to speak out through different platforms or media like this one and other medias. If they cannot get what we are saying, I think it's possible even to protest or to conduct a peaceful protest, you understand? To walk around Lusaka, you know, singing songs, you know, things written on those things so that the president can be aware of, or our leaders can see how serious we are about such issues. I think for me, a protest can do, or anything that can grab their attention. I think
right.
that's
right.
That
So,
can be
brother Richard, why do you think there was no response from the previous regime with regards to the gold that we had? There wasn't any adequate efforts to bring in tangible results. Do you think the Clique of Thieves were low-key benefiting from the negligence of Zambians? Why do you think they just turned a blind eye?
Actually, you've already answered your question. You've answered for me. For me, I think that's me. I think they were benefiting from those activities that were done by foreigners or in a legal way, because there's no way they are seeing riches for Zambia and they are quiet if they're not benefiting. I feel they were benefiting. That's why they kept quiet. If they were not benefiting, they couldn't have kept quiet. I feel they were benefiting in a way that we couldn't see.
Definitely. And this is one of the things that really mesmerizes a lot of Zambians, because we're seeing a lot of people become wealthy. For example, Faith Musonda was found with a lot of money, and people are just saying, Mozambia, there's a lot of people with a lot of money, but you don't know where the money is coming from. Well, it's because illegal things are happening in the backyard, if you know what I'm saying. So we need to make sure that the people leading Zambia know that these are the things we need to be solved. We need to let them know that, look, the Zambian people want gold, refineries, factories or something. Give us tangible results, not Fepari copper and all that stuff. But it only will happen if the Zambian youth, we need to see the CBU naba unza bamba koksta. I'm a peaceful protest. Because when we have adequate money coming through, we've got gold being mined and all that stuff, they're going to have enough money to get meal allowances and have scholarships. So there is obviously a sequence of benefits which are going to come from us pressuring the government to utilize our mineral resources. So right now, I'm actually talking to the CBU, the UNZA, all the various colleges out there. Number one, you're trying to lobby for meal allowances. You're trying to lobby for scholarships. You can only do that if the government has got money in the coffers. How's the government going to have more money? By taking advantage of our mineral resources. So to all the CBU, UNZA presidents, all you colleges out there, these are the issues you're supposed to be talking about and having peaceful protests, because you already know we have these mineral resources. All that we need to do is manage them properly. This is your mandate. This is your job as youths. So go out there, make peaceful protests, let them know we need solutions. We want Zambia to be taking advantage of the mineral resources, because once we start doing that, there's going to be more money for meal allowances, you're going to be having more scholarships, and there's going to be more opportunities for all of us. Okay, so anyhow, Richard, so let me bring in Reverend Brian Bwalia. Good evening. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Lusaka, Lusaka South.
Right. What is your contribution?
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, and good evening to everyone.
Good
in
evening.
Zambia, there's money. Yes, in Zambia, there's money. But on the issue of protests, I think protests is not a solution. There are many alternatives to engage the government. That's why we have got the ministers.
That's what we say.
Yes, they have got the PS. They have got our representative from our local authorities. But looking at copper, you know, Zambia, we don't have our own. We don't have our own. I can say the money that we receive from donors has got conditions that are soon attached to those monies. And the problem is, you know, that Muzambe whereby, you know, if today we say Brother Sidin or anybody come into leadership, they want first to make sure that their pockets are full, and the leftovers are the one who to be given to the rest of the.
Yes, so Reverend Bwalia, why do you think Kwabeloko Itemo?
We are selfish.
Why?
We are very selfish. Poverty. You know that poverty is a very dangerous thing. Poverty, you know, if somebody's coming with the poverty mentality, it's very difficult to develop. If you compare the past regime, what they did, that was if you look at a person like John, is it the one for America? Was it Trump? Okay, the guy was rich.
Okay, Reverend what I understand, but the thing is, we have to be solution oriented. Yes, I understand we have selfish leaders. So what? Then what? What are you doing about it, like on a personal level? What have you done as Reverend Bwalia to change and fix this?
Yeah, so okay, on personal level, we are trying to engage these guys who have come on the board. I think it seems that we've got a good driver. This good driver, I think, need to be engaged. At the same time, it will be very difficult for this man who was in State House, because the entire system for 10 years, it was so corrupt. So what the government needs to need to do is the entire system, even from State House.
All right, Reverend Bwalia, I think you're being diplomatic with your answers. So basically what I'm trying to look for, or what I'm trying to say is, let's stop saying Boma, the government. We need to take action on an individual basis, you know, because if we continue waiting for them to have an epiphany of resolutions, that's not going to happen. You see, the problem that Zambians have is we wait for them to come to this, you know, conclusive awakening and saying, oh, we need to remember Zambians. It's not going to happen. We need to pressure them. That's what we need to do. We need to have peaceful protests. And by the way, I'm not really inciting any violence. I'm saying have a peaceful protest, march to the parliament or whatever you need to do, and let them know that these are the issues that are happening. That's the only way they're going to understand. They won't figure out and say, Mnalula and his disgruntled youths want us to be sincere and all that stuff. That's where the problem is. We need to put pressure. We need to let them know if they're not producing results, we remove them and bring in other people. That's the only language they are going to understand. So waiting for a savior with divine powers is not going to work. We need to actively do something on a personal and individual level. Like right now, we're having this discussion, we're bringing these issues to light. So if you're going about government, that's not going to happen. On an individual level, you as Reverend Wadi are supposed to make efforts somehow. But anyway, continue. Yes, go on.
Reverend Wadi. This is my point. The person. Yeah, a person can have a very powerful vision. If you look at SATA had the vision for Zambia. But if you look at the system, even the HH has got a vision, but he has inherited a very corrupt system. A very corrupt system, which is, if, for example, today, you say, okay, you want to go and see the State House. The entire system for 10 years is so much corrupt. And if for you even to have entrance to the gates of State House, you need to bribe somebody. Even the voice cannot be heard. Any piece like the Yuns, I think, yeah. So what needs to be done is completely, the system need to be cleansed. The entire system from the PS to the directors and the managers, even to the sweeper, the cleaner, had to be cleansed.
So who's going to do that? Who's going to do that?
Yeah, the first thing, that's why we chose this man, so that he give us the direction, but he has to also to open the gates. He has to open the State House. Remember in the past regime that we never had an opportunity even to hear the voice of the president.
But Reverend Wadi, I respectfully disagree, because once you elect people, they've always got good intentions. Like at the I don't know, constituency level, they always give us some promises. We've had records of people saying, I'll bring in these changes. But when they go there, they start dining with a clique of thieves. They get infiltrated by the clique of thieves, because the clique of thieves, they are there. They know how everything works. So if former citizens, we just take them to parliament and then just leave them without pressurizing them, they're going to get comfortable. And guess what's going to happen? The clique of thieves are going to corrupt them, and they're going to be part of the clique of thieves. And then again, it's going to be it's going to be just running in circles, So that's why we need to always consistently put pressure, not just every 5 years. It's supposed to be on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. We remind them, this is what we need to do. We keep on singing these songs and we keep on pressurizing. Only then will they change. Not we elect them and we wait. The system is like that. That's not, there's billions of dollars involved here. The system is not going to let you disrupt how they are making money unless there's either a revolt or they see that the people actually want to see changes. That's the only way we're going to have divine changes. Otherwise, just putting abantu saying, change the system, they'll be part of the clique of thieves because they'll get too reluctant. So consistent pressure from the citizens really works. But anyway, continue, Reverend Wadi.
Yeah. My point is that once a president is the driver of the nation, just like a driver of the bus. You're going to Cheston, you jump on a member going to Cheston. A driver will say stop. The driver will see the roadblock will stop. Once the president opened up the gates and say, okay, I don't want a restriction because I don't want the restriction. I don't want this. If you open up and if, for example, if today I jump on I feel grieved, I need to demonstrate. I will not be blocked by any police officer, because those police officers who now, whenever you, like, for example, today, I wake up and say, okay, I want to see the minister. Just to see the minister. The same ministers who are in the same secretaries who are in the PF are the same secretary you find at the Ministry of maybe Commerce, Ministry of Transport, are same people. So what needs to be done, I want to emphasize, for UPN to make an impact, even for the development that we need, first the system had to be cleansed, we need to have new people. Let them transfer. Because there's some letter, for example, you take a letter to the minister, maybe Minister of Local Government. You go there, you find that the letter, no, the letter Z, that misplaced the letter. Okay, that's the thing which is happening. So what needs to be done is the president to open doors to the public. Okay, the public can go and make appointment, they see the president. In that way, you find that the development, there are a lot of people, like, there are a lot of very handsome men here who are so much intelligent, and they've got ideas how to develop
Now, Reverend Wadia, Reverend Wadia, with that attitude, do you think we would have gained independence? Or do you think with that attitude, do you think we would have gained independence in 1964 when we want to be allowed to do things? Do you think we would have gained independence with your strategy?
If you talk about Zambia being independent, I don't agree with you. Economic.
No, you're not listening to my question. I'm saying with your strategy. With your strategy, saying we wait for them to do things. With that attitude, do you think we would have gained independence? Do you think slavery would have ended if we were letting the system to open up to us? Do you think you can be independent like that? Look, Reverend Wadia, there's only two options here. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They are not going to open it up for people so that everybody is sharing. It's not going to happen. People have to stand up and they have to put their feet on the ground and say, we want this or else. That's the only language they listen to. If you're going to ask, nobody's going to give you. Why don't you think we've never had any tangible results for the past 20 years? Don't you think that the people back then used to, know that these things are happening? It's not going to happen. If you're going to ask for your things, they're not going to give you, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care whether you wait 100 years. It's either or, results or not. So with your strategy, I don't think Zambia would have gained independence in 1964. I don't think a lot of African countries would have been emancipated if we were waiting for the system to open up for us. That's honestly my take. Maybe I'm aggressive. Maybe I'm not considerate, but we won't change anything.
There's a system. There's what we call dialogue.
But dialogue hasn't been happening in the past 20 years. It hasn't been working. Since 1964, you saw Kenneth Kaunda talking about oil being discovered. 1964, the dialogue didn't work. It's not going to work. It didn't work. We've got records and history. Tangible proof. Dialogue hasn't worked till today. You're going to continue using dialogue.
The what thing? One of the American. We have to shift. We have to shift because our emphasis should be. It's not what the government can do for me. It's what can I do for the government. Okay. It's not if you're going to spend time, like for example, if you're going to move from office to office, you find that even the little money that you have will be gone. And to be very frank, in Zambia, people there's no teamwork. In Zambia, we don't work as a team. Look at the guy, for example, we talk of Simba Kambuli. Okay, Simba Kambuli was he went through hell. Okay, his business was closed up. Everything was, and the man, Zambia, we failed to sustain him. We failed to push him. In the end, the man compromised his his political career, and he went to bow because he wanted what he wanted his life, because his life was at stake. So in Zambia, we are not pushers. What I mean is, at an individual level, like the way you are doing, if you want to go far in Zambia, you need to believe in yourself, and depending on the government, I don't think it will be possible, because you need, for example, you give them your vision. Like maybe you want to set up maybe a radio station or a TV station. You start up from there. It's when the government will see. But waiting for the collapsed guys in the system, because I want to tell you, yes, we can have the ministers, the new ministers, the PS, but the directors, the managers are still in those offices, and they will make sure that your dream don't want to come to be fulfilled.
All right.
But,
Okay.
as I said, there are a lot
Thank
of young men
you,
here
Reverend
on the
Wadia. Let me allow other people to come in. So, brother Oscar, good evening. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Muna. Hello, Bachiwe Mudishani. Everyone on the panel. Maybe I might not remember all the names. Mudishani won't say good evening.
Good evening.
Here it's very cold, man. We are about
all right.
6 degrees Celsius. It's a bit cold. So I've been following the today's topic. Maybe on regarding our resources, the resources that we have, and then I don't know whether I can be allowed to invite some the Zambians, the youth, and the panel and the Zambian people concerning the COVID thing. I don't know whether I can say anything about that, Mr. Moon.
Yeah, you can briefly touch on it.
Right. All right. So two arguments I would like to say now about our resources. Mwewena Zambia and my brothers and sisters following on the panel. You know, one thing is to talk, to discuss, to practice the so-called democracy. It's not a Zambian word. It's an imported word. We have imported democracy. It's not part of our culture, but to be in line with the world, we have also embraced democracy. It's a good thing, but it's not our native practice anyway. So, our resources, yes. Muna and Muna, I'll start with, that's why I said, can I say something about COVID? Now, Moneni Fiachtika ku Southern Africa. Just yesterday, first of all, it was 3 days ago when they announced that South Africa and other countries in the southern region were put on a red list, which means they cannot go to America, they cannot come to Europe. No flights from Southern Africa, southern region, not Southern Africa, southern region, to go to the United States and to go to the European Union. Right. What is the reason they have given? They have given the reason to say, well, because there was a new COVID outbreak in Botswana, and then it has gone back, it has gone down to South Africa, and so it is expanding in the southern African region, which is more or less to say, in our terms, we can say in the SADC region. In the SADC region, now it's stuck on them. Now, you know, Amuna, I'm a politicians besu. I think in a number that if we, a lot of things have been done, a lot of maturity have been done, but I think that a numbers are. Pantu. Our president went to the United States. Our president went to the United Kingdom. They were promising, no, Zambia, this and that, Zambia and that, Zambia and that, Zambia and that. No, Zambia tamuli tailafike inanikan COVID if minaku Botswana tailafika Zambia. We have not yet diagnosed those cases, but we have been put on a red scale. Fidati, we have been condemned na ifwe. No flight can come from Zambia to go to England. No flight can come from Zambia to go to the United States. So no, but mwamone nefo chava. Abantu ama imperialists. They don't think of the dialogue, a good dialogue with you. Do something nice. They do something. No. Awama guys, they consider us as one country. Wamuna ku Israel kwali COVID. Muno mu Italy there was a pandemic. Number for 2,000 people a day. 2,000 people were dying in one day. In Endabomba kuno hospital Wamuna, I am telling you this because I've seen the deaths of these people a day. How many people were dying? And they never blocked Italy from out of the world. No transition, this and that. What they are doing was, if Italians are moving, quarantine Wamuna. They were giving them quarantine. You come from Italy, you stay in quarantine for 10 days, 15 days, then bakumona negative, you enter. No, by for now to cancel. No flights coming from southern sub-Saharan region, now SADC countries cancelled. I don't know, by for Mamone. You are talking about Tama minerals, Wamuna, which we have. Tama minerals, if I disagree with Reverend, I think there was a certain Reverend Wasalanda Pafia Katwishati, poverty is a problem. Poverty is not a problem because around the world, once there is poverty. More America, more poverty. More Italy, more poverty. But what you don't find here is the misery. Poverty is there. Nobody is going to eradicate poverty. No, poverty is even in noble, Wamuna. Poverty is noble. To be poor, it's not a curse. Actually, it's okay. There are rich people and there are poor people. But we should fight against Bapompwe. Bapompwe eva ona urechalo. Na abasungu bene Bapompwe bengi. Ababene Bapompwe abasungu aba ebere na President beso ati yo mwe bantu tukwete nkongole natukwate nkongole. Tulina shonse shimisho kusalanda chawe takuri tax ama minus tawakula kwata tax for 1 year. I can't understand that. I can't understand. Eyo malanda puya protest ya misepira wa muna. How about na inekchina beba wa ichina chao? Kabia ni kunani kanya. Not muyaku state house pantu yumurumendo we want to build the Hakainde. We want to help our president. He's a good man. Let us help the youth, please. Let us help Hakainde Hichilema. He's under fire. Uli bonse ba mukukulu, bonse ba mushiriran salaba nani uko bonse. They are fighting this guy, but this guy is a genius. He is a great person. Before he can become a president, he is a great person. So let's defend Hakainde Hichilema for the better Zambia, for the future Zambia. Number, I have a problem. For Hakainde, how can we help Hakainde Hichilema when the IMF batwe batyawe funyeni kwa ma subsidies kuri electricity shani kabidi nomba fyonse fyo? What the IMF are asking Zambia, mwebena Zambia umfweni vela tuvepa. They are the same things they have asked Italy. Okay? Bamuna, that no one cheats the Zambians. Twalikwata ifonomba Prime Minister wamuitati Mario Draghi, Prime Minister wakuno ali ni Bank or European Bank, no, World Bank President Mario Draghi is an Italian. After his term of office for 10 years, he came back to Italy. Now he is the Prime Minister. Not through votes, but through confidence. Abantu basalanda 30. Crisis talk with them Italy na COVID-19, we will need you guys who are on the Bank of World Bank, please, atwafweko fya economy mu Italy. So Mario Draghi is the Prime Minister of Italy. He has not been voted in Parliament. No, they just nominated him because he's a capable person, just like him, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. He is a very good person. Let's take advantage of umuntu. Number. What I want to focus is this, mwebantu. Ba IMF, pakuwa watu batuwafe okuweshe nkongole, bakatweba, balatweba, mwebantu kakeni lamba. Kakeni lamba, tampeni okuwesha panono. Ba IMF nga tabatwebe, finish wale tuwe pa fiobufi. Mwamwana nombe fiambo kutuntuka mwebena muna, ba muna and all the people on the panel. If you are tuntu, wishetu alishi bati, ba nani kane ba President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, bale tupela malait panko ngole, wishetu alishi apa subsidy, sorry. Did we know that? No. We never knew that. Zambians never knew that. Wati ba Hakainde Hichilema bengalanda kubena Zambia ba muna, kwebati, londo lweleni abena Zambia, ala bakonfu abena Zambia, bebeni. Ala babantu bakaena mu parliament. Let even the president go into parliament and go to speak into parliament and tell the parliament about the real status of affairs mu Zambia. Ukweba ati mukula na nomba baleiba. Abaleiba ni banani nomba ni fwebo ba UPND na nguni wa PF baleiba. Question. God baleiba oko kusolwezi uko na kuisoko baleiba God. Abaleiba ni banani nomba ni ba UPND na ngu ma cliques of whatever. How do you call these things? The cliques of whatever. Abaleiba na banani. Who are we going to give now this? So apanomba bakabola ala ba pompwe bonse bali abeba. Abalefa yako bati Hakainde Hichilema bamushinge. Wamuna, can I say bad word? Panan. Bala mushinga amashinsha. Ero abantu balandati Hakainde Hichilema PP. Maumfa. Bala mushinga nga bamushinga amala ya mbushi. Olo abantu bena Zambia balandati Hakainde Hichilema we PP. Mwamone. Ero nga twalusa Hakainde Hichilema imwe bamuna mulenje bati kampyongwe eukesa mukuwami echalo cha Zambia mwe bantu twapapata na papata. Let's not make this mistake. We have this gentleman. Let's take care of umuntu. Ala kwatama problems is not going to solve the problems, just as he said it. Fiance bati, I'll fix it. Barry will fix it. Of course, a single person cannot fix the problems. Barry can fix it if we Zambians, we are going to work together with Barry. Here in Italy, the people, for 2 years, Muna, for 2 years in Italy, Barry to perana ifama conditions by World Bank. Ba Italy ba kwete 170 billion euros. 170 billion euros in Congole. Olo balandawe, mufiro kutampo kubweshako. So, for 2 years, kakeni lamba bonse, kuno kuine kuita dibuya. I'm talking about Europe. We did that. But, abantu tabatu kire government, mwadisha fu tabatu kire member of parliament nangu, prime minister waka ino Mario Draghi, tabamu kire nsele, pantuali bebele chinka. Olo baya fwa, tonse tulatufwa idi kisha, mwaya ipishoku, olo basanga chawe, chachine fe alirando mulumendo. Chishinka. So na ifo Muzambia ifo efyo Hakainde Hichilema fo afile bena bepanga mistake nifi bepela ama foreigners green light olo bebe ifo bena Zambia ukukakelamba apapo na akana ififyena na akana nshasumine ifwe fwe bena Zambia watwebe atikakeni lamba olo no mbomu foreigner ale isabale sambamo awama Indians, ama Chinese, ama Lebanese mu Zambia. Bena wale sambamo fie. Olo ifeture batamba fie. Awe na akar. Ifefie na balu fianya. So, our president, think about that. Come out with a very genuine solution. On myself, I'm going to help. whatever I can participate. The experience that I've had in Europe, I'm in Europe Wamuna for 26 years. I have enough experience to divide with some people. Now, to help you, I can help. In being that I'm not a millionaire, I don't have enough. I cannot promise you. Wamuna, I'm not going to promise you money, but I can help. I can promise you. Okumisa devise certain things. Tuiponelana mufya koba tubalanda mwebe na Afrika muri balanda fye. Shani ifo tuli balandawa. No. Hakainde nalande fintefile faika. Muzambia fyama ba England tawale focus takubena Zambia. Batu ebera timwe baleke basambirire. Pakuteka mwina Zambia, mwina Africa, mwimutwala ku skulu. Eya the theory yama imperialists.
Brother Oscar, we need to give other people a chance. We'll bring you back.
Thank you
so much.
So,
Brother Jason, then we're going to bring in Peter, then Brother Emmanuel. Brother Jason, go on.
Good evening, Brother Muna. Good evening, Brother Oscar, and the fellow and other panelists. Good evening, viewers. I think this is a very interesting topic that we are tackling today, Brother Muna. Personally, I have had an opportunity actually to be almost all over this country, Zambia, because I remember when I was at Ncherenge High School, I even went up as far as Kaputa area there in Lupia. So the issue ya misuse yama minerals na routing yama minerals, Brother Muna. Limbire monekera fie muri aina matanza yakwe bati yale moneka. But if I tell you the period in I was at Ncherenge High School, that was in 204. Brother Muna, there are minerals here in Zambia. Kwa Kaputa kulia kula fumakopa. Kula fumakopa kwa lupia kulia. And I even had my uncle, his name is Chongomu Kupa, actually he works for ZRA some years back. I don't know if he was governor. He even did that same business, importing, getting copper from Lupia to Copper Belt. After Baisa Bachita Swindo Kuma Congolese, because it is near to Congo there, that's how he stopped. So Muzambia, issue ya kweba we are poor, I really disagree actually. No kweba ni poverty ya renga and the like ingefi achilanda ba Revland Waria. That is not true. I think the only problem that we have, Brother Muna, like I always say, our culture as Zambian, it is too xenophobic. We are a people whereby if we see a wrong being done, as long as it is being done by a foreigner, no one is going to stand the ground and be able to castigate that. Our culture as Zambian, it is too xenophobic, Brother Muna. That's why it has given green light to these foreigners, because they know. That's why I say I had an opportunity, to interact. I like interacting. Those the so-called peace corps that we see, Aisa, Naya, Kumushi, those are not peace corps. They are intelligent officers, those guys who give information to the ambassadors, Kuma High Commissioners. Not if we have High Commissioners, Vesunga Baba Tumwa, Ngabaya Kwisoko, Chaya Lila, Kanishna Bafka ku Europe, Bafwaye Baeshana Kwati ni brother Oscar, Mwamonaka, Pantum Kalambali Temokshana. Na bobala bane nchitono mbaba batumina kulia. Instead of putting people on the ground, they learn ideas, they learn the culture. What has made this country to be this way? Those issues, I don't know if they even consider them. So the problem that we have, Brother Muna, it is having xenophobic type of a culture, and especially socio-economic culture with Zambians. We are not productive. We say Mansa, that area, it is like it is all covered. It is all covered with manganese, Brother Muna, which can be used to make electric batteries, which can be used to make phones and the like. But if you go to Mukushi, you also find the same thing happening just along the road. They are mining. They are mining manganese, and alongside manganese, there are other precious minerals, because actually, according to the information that I've had, is that actually manganese is just a cover of precious minerals like cobalt, diamond, gold. Brother Oscar is agreeing with me. But no, we are just mining manganese. That's why we even say that, do we have professionals in this ministry? Or Kubafia Chikruniba Anko, let him go and man minister of minerals. Niba Nani, let him go and man minister of whatever. You know, we need people. Yadama graduate to quarter, Nabachita study this and that. Those are the people that are required. Otherwise, we keep singing these songs. And you know, I've come to understand that we Zambians, we are very good at complaining. But it's like we lag behind when it comes to offer a solution. Mamonaka, look at the copper bells. I'm able to see the comments. There is Kajam. Kajam has been mined for years by the Senegalese and the Congolese. Naba Uganda, Mamonaka. But nothing is being said. For a Zambian problem to Akwata, that's why we are having this exploitation. We are having all this torture. And if the current government is not going to be proactive enough, Brother Muna, to say, let us try and change the state of affairs, we shall just continue like this. And our guys, they have got a target. Like what Brother Perry talked about. I don't know if it was Brother Perry. If China and so at Merenio whatever, Merenium go. But start about F sender, but I'm Turika, but F sender, but I'm Turika, but F sender, but I'm Turika, Mamonaka. Tabare Sakamana Nangukushta, the government actually is the one that financed those guys. No mbaifwe, elo tuai karafe tuali shishit. Mumbwa, there is God there. And it was aired on the news sometimes back. But Twashe Dabwafia Tiriashi. Now look at what is happening now. There is God, people are sleeping on God, and the same people are sleeping on God are the ones who are being abused. Brother Muna, because I was watching you actually, because I was working. Is that okay? Where you have money, Pandarama shobe parapeni, epo bade kuchitana exploit. Shashine shobe babura pona tu kwacha bakupira. So Zambians, I think, from Komaisha let us change this xenophobic culture that we have. Brother Muna, if it is a Zambian trying to start mining those minerals, even the traditional leaders, they won't be able to give you a leeway. Why is it like this? Because there must be a change of things, a change of state of affairs. We have everything, but we appear as though it is an objective thing in Africa to say Africans are poor. We are not. So what is just lacking? We lack a lot of leadership. We lack leadership. And like Brother Oscar was saying to say, let us actually keep pushing this HH because he is got potential. But as long as abantu bali abali mu key areas tatubakolwepe nishi tukakwata problem. Tukakwata problem. Because the problem that we are having is the leadership that doesn't have actually a focus for the country. Nga murefu ayo kweba timukwati omwero usuma brother Muna na mwakukira munga nde yanyu. Turabalira po twakunta, twapyanga, twakolopa. That's when you expect to have fresh air. But if you want to go and have fresh air in the same house here kwebati, yali kala mufiko for 2 good years or even for some weeks, you still don't expect to have fresh air. So we are not like trying to politicize. We are not trying to ukula chitana nikane ukula brema mana nikane ngachako batu muntu nikabwalala bali abantu baba fumiemo without any remorse by HH. babachinje, if it means reshuffling them, bamufumya kulwapula, bamutwalako kunani kani, ku Western Province.
Bamuleta ku Kito kuli bajira bobo kwati twamuma kwenkonya. Ife nkonya kumuma.
So, Brother Muna, in a problem nasanga pamwandini. Yakweba for Zambians, we are not a people whereby we would want to build this country as a people of Zambia. That's why even new to not businesses, Brother Muna, you just have to stand your ground. You just have to say, these are my boundaries, because otherwise, if you follow the attitude that we have in Zambia, there is no way you can actualize in your life. That's why that Zambia, if you want to go higher in Zambia, one, you just have to be strong. You have to be strong. You don't even have to depend on the country, on the government. But the government, what the government should remember, we always talk about this. They should remember that these people we still forget are the same taxpayers. And for these people to be taxed, what are they doing? Balechtenshi. Tualaba fashani, tualaba supporta shani. Mwamonaka? But mwala sangati, tatufaya. Nanguma businesses, yadama politics yakwe bati, ama business, fimoba fisa lako, as long as Muzambia na register. Taturefuaya kufimone fimuni ba HH. Turefuaya kwe batama Zambianzi, abene, bachita benefiti, kuma resources lesa tupala nayo. We are not poor. But why are we allowing somebody who doesn't have anything to come and have a control over something which is ours? And honestly, being comfortable seated, watching people languishing in poverty. Kumumbwa kudakuine mwamo naba chefileta chilamuneka ulio mkashana. I'm sure she doesn't even go to school. But somebody, a foreigner just comes in and start getting things, and people are just watching. So problem, I think, it is us Zambians. Because one, we are even not vigilant to say who has come, what are they doing? And if you raise a concern, mwala sangati, the community mbiara kuimina no kuimina, if you start talking, if you mwambo kulandapo fiama wanu, if you mwambo kulandapo tafiri wino, the same people. So that is the only problem which is killing us, which is biting Zambia, and which has kept Zambia actually to be in neo-colonialism. Otherwise, ngachakwe bati twachinja, because ngatolanda twachinja. We are even talking about these same civic leaders that we have pushed in offices. Let them adjust. So the problem, Brother Muno to Akwata, Muzambia, we have resources, but the culture we have is xenophobic. I submit for now, Brother Muno.
All right, thanks, Brother Jason. So let's pass it over to Brother Emmanuel. Then we're going to take it over to Moses, and then Miss Mayovo. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Brother Muna, and good evening, my fellow panelists. First and foremost, I would like to ask you this question. Last time I asked this question, I was not answered. The question goes to Brother Muna, or maybe someone else also will amplify after Brother Muna gives the answer before I continue. ZESCO seems to be a very good tool for advocating, for advising the current government, the president and his team. Now, my question comes, how is this ZESCO recognized? How is the voice of ZESCO heard by the government, by the president? How is it heard? Is the voice of ZESCO heard by the president?
So to answer that one, of course, we can't answer it on behalf of the president and his team. But what I can say is we have the attention of many Zambians because we see the numbers going up, we see the interaction, and people are obviously tuning in. So about the government and relevant people hearing us, it's one question. The other question is, are they going to follow the recommendations and are they going to make any changes? That's a different, question to ask. So what we're trying to do here is talk about these things, raise questions, bring in awareness, and then see how we're going to push it up from there. So the first thing that we need to do is have dialogue, raise awareness, and then the rest, if we get the privilege of being heard, that would be a very good thing to have, and it could be very helpful to a lot of Zambian citizens. So I do not really know whether they hear us or not. All I care about is at least being able to put the message out there to make the Zambian people aware of what is happening. Let people conversate. Let people, start talking about these things, and then we all start pushing. So we have a plan of not just being social media talkers. We have a plan of, being serious and lobbying for these things, even on the ground. And this is what we're trying to do in the background, so that when we talk about these things, we even go to parliament, we go to the relevant people, so that we submit these, points, so that they can have an actual response from us using some write-ups or anything like that. So we are moving in those directions. But the first thing that has to be done is have a conversation, bring awareness, and then we'll start pushing. So we are in the process of mobilizing ourselves, whereby we can get to have like a one-on-one basis with all the queries that we raise, so that they can be able to, listen to us. More additions from people. If other people want to add anything, I think you can go on. Yeah, Brother Oscar, and then Brother Jason.
I think to answer the question to our brother, I was interested in this platform because I was so much impressed by Muna's courage to keep on speaking. The young man, he would talk minutes, hours, continue talking, and that inspired me to follow the page. I think our responsibility, even my responsibility, is not to be recognized by the higher authorities, but to contribute to this country. And just to emphasize on one point, which is, I think, the fundamental of the decision of this new president, Hakainde Hichilema, as compared to President Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema has given us the freedom to speak out. Gentlemen, that is an achievement. So who is going to gain? The country is going to gain, and also the president himself is going to gain. Thank you.
All right, then Brother Chiwe. Yes, you can go on. We can hear you.
Yes, I think we assume that the president actually is said about this platform because, we are too loud. And looking at how the system works, security system, we believe that they do follow and they make submissions to say, this is what is happening. But we don't know whether the president might have that interest to say, okay, let me just get it myself, the first-hand information. I don't know how busy he is. I don't know how committed he is to that. But we believe that as long as there are people watching this platform, there are people who are interested because, they would want to see what is happening. They would want to check whether we are okay in the direction that we are moving. So to assume, we are hoping that the president actually is getting this information that we are giving out as a people. So we should just encourage ourselves to keep talking, to keep educating, and to keep advocating. As long as there are people, those handmen who are able to pick up information, it means it is reaching actually the president. I submit.
All right, Brother Emmanuel, you can proceed. I hope you have been answered.
All right, thank you so much. Actually, my concern wasn't recognition as such, but the voice to be heard. Out of this voice, advice and encouragement to the government. Yeah, my take on Brother Oscar's statement over the IMF, where we expected at least to tighten up our belts, which could be one of the direction coming from, IMF because of the way we borrowed the money from them. I still remember during Mwanawasa when he just came in, he had a press briefing where he told the Zambians to tighten up their belts because the time was really tough. They have to meet the HIPC completion point, if you still remember that issue. He mentioned it clearly and said we'll be able to enjoy later. He found the dollar, if I'm not mistaken, it was at about 5 kwacha. But he really worked hard, and the dollar came to about, by then we were saying 2,700. This time around we are saying 2 kwacha 70 ngwe. I still remember because I even traveled to South Africa to go and buy my first light truck. It was around that. So when I was buying the dollar in Lusaka, in the bureaus, it was around that. So there was that achievement. And certain things come with certain hardships, which we need to accept for us to enjoy the better fruits. I really concur with Brother Oscar. Such things come and such things happen. And in that way, you will not hear Zambians to talk against the president, Zambians to talk against the Minister of Finance, or maybe the MPs and the ministers. No, because they would have known what is going on and what we went through during the previous regime. So we need to understand these things from the onset. And it is good that in most cases, the president is updating, informing the Zambians what is going on, unlike the way it used to be in PF. Here we are talking about, I just read that no, they are trying to remove the subsidies. We didn't know that there was this animal subsidy. We didn't know about that. It was just done silently. What was the reason of doing such things? Ni uja upompwe wamene wezo kamba bandani brother Oscar usakara nyongo wamene wenzemu. So sorry to use that term, but that is the right term I can use for such people. Then someone would want to take advantage of the situation to say UPND has failed. No, let's be realistic. Opposition, they should try to give a check and balance, which is genuinely. Coming to the issue of our minerals, there are a lot of things which are happening. You know, in Kasenseli, after that teacher discovered, through those children, they have a 15-man group which discovered that. Then the teacher came in and got something from there. The government started getting there. Instead, when we say the government, it would mean maybe government of Zambia, but disgruntled government individuals, PF individuals, where they managed to put police officers there. They got about 100 plus 50 kgs of gold, which was not yet received, and taken to the police station to be guarded. Guess what? The following morning, they found those bags were less. just within the police station. And there has been a voice note which was going around on social media, how those things were disappearing. Most of the things were gotten by, sorry to mention someone who is already late, may his soul rest in peace, the the former provincial whatever, provincial chairperson, Northwestern. There were those, suspensions, temporal, whatever, just to blindfold people. Meaning these guys didn't mean well. Right now, we are talking about gold mine in Mumbwa, Nangoma constituency, the so-called Mayelo. As I'm speaking right now. But when you go there, you find that the people on the ground, the one who are trying to control that, they are foreigners. Those foreigners are being used. There are still these disgruntled PF who are using those foreigners to get that gold mine. Because even the district structures, we know some of them who don't just want to mention their names. Even the provincial structures, they were busy getting there to get the gold. But people are just quiet. And as Zambians, we just keep quiet and see everything. Once we see a Mzungu, once we see an Indian, then all is well, say, Vamwine, Vamwine. I will never respect an Indian. I will never respect a Lebanese. I will never respect a white man. As long as he's in my country. I go to Tanzania, I find an Indian busy, picking things on the street. And when he comes here, then we say Vamwine. I go to South Africa, I go where I find this chap who is a Gonena. I come here, then I give respect to such kind of a person. It's high time that us as Zambians, we come back to our senses and ensure that all these things are ours. It's better even to protest. This time there's freedom, peaceful protest against such individuals, against these foreigners. We are not saying why are they here? No, they are brothers and sisters, but the resources should be to Zambians. If anything, let them partner with Zambians the way the president had put it. Let them partner with Zambians. The PF closed the office for which one? Which country is this? Denmark. I had the privilege to go there through that office to go and do SMEs in the productive industry for some good months. I was there in Denmark. We were the two of us from Zambia, and we met others from South Africa, from Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, and so forth. What we found there, because of such a program, it was a sponsored program by the Danish Fellowship Center. What we found there, it was very much interesting and encouraging, where we found some people who had some business ideas. They sold those business ideas to that school. Then the school started looking for the partners, because that is a policy, a deliberate policy by that country. They found someone who was interested and partnered with a certain individual, one of our classmates. This guy wanted a hammer mill, a commercial hammer mill. So this gentleman was given money by the government to do what? To take this hammer mill to Tanzania for an agreed period of time. Then the gentleman, the Tanzanian, was going to buy off this gentleman and gets back to Denmark, which is called the business to business. And once it's bought off, the whole company remains with the Tanzanian guy, and it remained because they just agreed about 5 years. But the government, the Danish government was able to fund everything. This is the kind of a tool which we need in Zambia. We give to empower the Zambians to have even these minds. If Zambians can come together, then look for someone who has the muscle to work with these Zambians, to partner with them. And if anything, even processing that mineral within the country, because they'll create jobs for the youth, they'll create jobs for other, technocrats in the country. And this can help the country to contribute to the national treasury. So I think it's high time we should now look into such matters to ensure that the sense of ownership is in the hands of Zambians. I submit.
All right, thanks, Brother Emmanuel. So now we pass it over to Moses, then Miss Mayova. Then after that, we're going to have rapid fire questions where we can ask questions and answers and then just do it for like 90 seconds because we're running out of time. So Moses, go for it. All right, Moses is having some issues. Let's have Miss Mayovo. Miss Mayovo, I hope you're there. You can turn on your video, then give us your opinion. Okay, I think she's away. So now we have Stephen Kaumba. Stephen Kaumba, I have a question for you. How can we start cleaning up with regards to the mess that we have with regards to undocumented foreigners? Because I remember when the UPND came in, right, a lot of work permits that were illegally given to a lot of our friends, especially from the Far East, a lot of them were revoked. So how can we improve security in our nation? And how can we make sure that we have very good systems with regards to who we allow in the country? Because when we have undocumented foreigners, these are the ones who are committing crimes. They are stealing our mineral resources, and basically they don't really get to do enough good for Zambia. So how can we improve our immigration system, which is obviously going to help us safeguard the security of our nation? So Stephen Kaumba, you can go for it. Unmute yourself. Yeah, we can go on.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, but I can.
All right. Okay. So who can answer that one? Barbie, Marvelous, you didn't say anything. Can you go for that one?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Muna. I thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Loud and clear, sir. Go for it.
All right. Thank you. I think for me, I would say the only thing that the current government is supposed to work on is corruption. Let them really work on see how much they can reduce corruption when it comes to the immigration department. Because if we've got people that are coming from outside, they find themselves in here without proper documentation. How did they find themselves in here? Because the same channels they had used, the same dubious channels that they had used to come in here. Even after they commit whatever crimes they commit, they'll use the same channels to go out. That means there is a weaker point somewhere. These people are utilizing this same weaker point. So let the current government, using the immigration department, work on this. Let them make sure that this area is tightened up enough. Let them employ credible people that would be working on merits, not working on corruption. I think this is the only way we can enhance this, and this is the only way that is going to see us through and achieve what we want. I submit.
All right, thanks, Marvelous. So D, I see you haven't participated. So my question to you is, what policies can we have in Zambia to make sure that Zambians are empowered with regards to a lot of different businesses? Because when foreigners come into Zambia, right, they've got the liberty to set up businesses, and then native Zambians don't really have the privilege of benefiting from these foreigners. So we need, what type of policies can we have to make sure that Zambian, or rather native Zambians, are able to benefit from the foreign investments that really come through, so that they can also be protected somewhat by the government, and foreigners won't be able to have a very high advantage over Zambians?
All right, thank you, Mr. Muna. Good evening, the panelists. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you get me clear?
Yes, we can. Go on.
Hello.
We can.
All right, thank you. I think the first thing we need to do is politics in issuing of these licenses, because as the problem is between us Zambians. If I'm Zambian, if I'm a problem, that you manage to do this, like for instance, like of supplying chicken. As Zambians, we can go in layering of chickens and then we start supplying these companies. But when those companies give us the mandate to supply those, we'll be compromised. Those companies, they have got a target to go on. But for us Zambians, so the mindset needs to begin with us Zambians. In fact, but change our mindset so that any company, Zambian, they can supply chicken. Chicken ukupanga bricks quality, all those companies, those are supposed to be for Zambians. No foreigners wale pera ma companies akushta quality, laying of chicken, all those, especially in farming, because farming in Zambia, it's farming. Non-tama foreigners ingawasa payment ya farming. No, that farming is for us Zambian. That's why Zambian, when it comes to land, no. But when you go to my foreigners, but they pay land kurusana than us. Very disadvantage, especially farming, because apana mona farming. We can see. I can give an example of salad. Salad apana I do. But Zambian in agriculture, soya beans. They start producing salad, which is helping us. Because salad meaning salad reduce because of their soybeans. Soybeans those waste you can feed for chicken. Those it can help in feeding. Salad Zambians. So I think policy of a foreigners for issuing payments foreigners. They need to put foreigners to have those categories in bomba. Non-term in bomba Zambians. And then okay, sorry, Mr. Muna, party mining. Can I go? Yes.
Yeah,
and then on the issue of mining. Okay, and then in the issue of mining, Zambian tax, but the government first reduce tax for Zambians. Not Zambian companies, but they start competing with companies. So I think in Gabashta could reduce tax to Zambians. A lot of Zambians, they are capable of going into this mining. Manje Zambians ngafo kuingiramo nishibambo kwa bikira tax yambo kukula bambo kula chita compete same nama foreigners, which is not favoring us Zambians. And then big companies aya bafike pela kwa social cooperative tanfo bakala chita kwa society. Ngabapunda no imwe every year mkara sponsor student bali so university so that baisho community mudia, and then I want to sponsor kuna community mine so that those locals kuna community they benefit as well. Nondi na bapele but bala mkusenda bambi abana bamulya mwine babe na bamulya o basenda babatwala kuma university bambokola balipira, which is not helping us. It's just within. But in Gavaranda, no, I am a social and Abam Combo Mlamwini, by picking, and they go in schools. Our push my school, Nani, our good results, Manani. Traffic Baba send. Even without them knowing. But no, cheat, numbers. You have got 6 points. Muna Fox stage to Aram sponsor, I'm 100, I'm 10, I'm 50. So start right now, I'm community. Let's talk about benefits, and then I thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Miss Mayovo, you are back. So I hope just unmute yourself. So my question to you is, how can we make the environment conducive for Zambians to conduct businesses? Because we are seeing foreigners coming to compete with Zambians with regards to simple businesses that Zambians can do. So what type of policies should the government put in place to protect the dignity of Zambians as far as businesses is concerned? And how can we make sure that when foreigners come to Zambia, right, Zambians are able to partner with them and benefit and just basically not get disadvantaged? So what's your take on that, Mrs. Mayobo?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Moon. I hope I'm clear enough.
You're loud and clear. Go for it.
Okay, because I've been struggling with my Wi-Fi. It's been raining for days here. So yeah. I think we need to have stricter laws in place so that all these junky people that we have in Zambia as investors are pruned out before they even come into the country. We have to tell these people, tell them what we want before they can even, if they're applying for a license to come and trade in Zambia. I don't know how that is done. I'm not sure. Just there, they must explain to us, what are they coming to do? What are they coming to offer that the Zambian public isn't already offering? Because we can't be competing with foreigners in the market, in city market, selling tomatoes, selling roasted corn on the streets. We are competing with foreigners. Certain things, even the government themselves, the government needs to understand that certain things are for Zambians only. You don't just go around offering everything in the country to foreigners. No, certain things must be kept for Zambians. Like my mines. When somebody is coming in Zambia to come and mine, they need to explain to us what are they coming to do with what they are going to be mining. Say, for instance, they're going to be mining gold. How is that going to be done? What are we going to benefit? What's in there for us as the Zambians? What's in there? What's in it for us? We don't just go signing contracts and giving people tenders. Oh, go and do here, go mine there. What are the Zambians benefiting at the end of the day? Nothing. Why? That's because we don't have laws in Zambia that are strong enough to prune these investors. If we have all these people coming in Zambia, they are junkies coming from prisons. My Chinese are they are from prisons. They are coming to Zambia. When I was young, and this is exploitation of our minerals didn't start in the PF government. No. A long time ago, when Kenneth Kaunda was I was still in school myself, grade 11 at Kalonga Secondary School in Kabwe. When I went there and I went home on holidays, I used to see a lot of young women attracted to, oh, Masene Sene. That was the phrase, that was the name the Senegalese were given. Because those people were rich because they were mining, what is this? Emeralds and other minerals. So all the women, the Zambian women, they didn't even want Zambian men anymore. They just wanted the Sene Sene because the Sene Sene had money to give them. The Sene Sene helped their families and they bettered them. They made their lives better. That was in the Kaunda era. It wasn't even in the PF. So when you're talking about minerals, this problem, exploitation of our minerals didn't start in this previous government. No, these problems have been there. And here's where the problem is. We Zambians are too laid back. And sometimes we are looking even at the neighbors. Let me tell you something. Here in America, when you see something happening, you don't even keep quiet. These people that you call Muzungu here in their own countries, I'm telling you, Mona, I am telling you from what I know. I have lived here for 22 years and I have boys that were born in Atlanta, Georgia. They are now teenagers, 18 and 16. Mona, we fight every day to live in this country. Because when you're looking at America from outside, it's different from living in America. I can tell you what I know. Abantu, ngati mufuna kuona bantu amene bali very selfish. It is them who know. There's poor people here. And then my blacks, Mona, I have had to fight for my children to even get an education. Mono, Mo America, Mono, you fight every day because your children are accused of things they didn't do. So why are we allowing foreigners to have it so easy in Zambia? Is the question I have no answers to. Why are we allowing foreigners to come and wreck our environment? And we're sitting there quietly and say, oh, about HH. HH is one person. That man needs help of every Zambian. The problem we have there in Zambia is illiteracy. We don't know the value of what we have. That is why we're allowing all these Congolese. Yes, the Congolese, you see the Congolese, they left their own country. Many of them are now in Zambia. Do you see what is happening in Congo? If we are not careful, the same exact thing will happen in Zambia. Because we have allowed so many foreigners to come in. And they are not even regulated. They just come and do whatever they want, and then they take all the money and they run. They go and sell, they make their profit, they come back. And sometimes the government doesn't even know who is coming in. And when it comes to land, why are we allowing foreigners to have land? I'm a US citizen here where I am, but I'm a neutralized citizen. There's a difference between being a born citizen and a neutralized one. Like myself, I don't have the same privileges as my two sons who were born here do. Why? Because I'm a Zambian. I come from Zambia. My boys were born here, so they have more privileges than I do. There's a reason why the Americans do it like that. Because they don't want foreigners to be coming here and taking advantage of their own people, and then they leave. You see what I mean? So let's have stricter laws in place. Let us make sure that people who are coming in Zambia to come and invest are coming there to invest. And if they're coming to mine gold, let them mine the gold, do whatever they have to do. If they are going to be making chains and whatever they're going to be making out of the gold, let that happen in Zambia. Because when you do that, if you don't allow the raw gold to be shipped out of the country and taken to other countries, you are going to create more jobs for the youth in Zambia. That's because people are going to open factories. Give them those conditions. Tell them if you're coming to mine this, do it in Zambia. Whatever you're going to do, do it here so that our youth can have employment. Whatever you're going to be taking out of Zambia, it must be a red product, something ready to be sold to another country, not taken out from Zambia, a raw product. No, let's not allow that. I rest, Mr. Muna.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very profound and eye-opening. So these are the issues that we're supposed to be talking about, especially with regards to Zambians who have been in other countries, because they know how they get treated. You can't go to an Asian country and start doing a lot of these things that these people get away with. You can't, you know? So anyway, let's pass it over to Brother Moses, and then we'll pass it over to Brother Matthew. Then we'll start concluding because we've been running for more than 1 hour, 40 minutes already. So Brother Moses, give us your quick take, then we pass it over to Brother Matthew. Then we conclude collectively.
Thank you. Good evening. And
good evening,
panelists. Yeah, we need to enforce the law for these foreigners, or we call this company who comes here in Zambia. We need to enforce the law so that that law will be in favor of our own Zambian people here to benefit. We need to have inspectors like geologists. I do worry most of the time. I can give example of this mine, Kansanshi here. It is called the copper mine, Kansanshi copper mine. But this mine produces gold almost every day. They have got even the gold plant there. I don't know whether the government knows about this.
They do. They know.
We cannot be fooling. These people cannot be fooling Zambians. We don't know how much tax they collect from that gold. Previously, they used to pass this gold in town. Now they have got a bypass, and they are using a helicopter to the airport direct. And when it goes to the airport, it goes direct. So I'm appealing to the government. I don't know whether we have a geologist who gives the report, even the quantity of gold which comes from this Kansanshi mine, so that the central government there are having the report or the true thing which is coming out from that mine. We cannot only be dependent on this mine which they are giving them 5 years free tax. This is not giving hope, like to me as a Zambian and the whole nation. So we need inspectors who be going around in these mines and gathering information. Specifically, what did they say when they were coming here in Zambia? What specifically mineral they were coming for to mine? If it's gold, let it be gold. If it's manganese, let it be manganese. Example given, which I can also give, is Chinese company. Chinese company, they pretend maybe to come here in Zambia and say we are mining gold or we are mining copper. but on that they build cafes. Wherever you find a Chinese company, there is a cafe and a gate. What happened inside there are several types of jobs. So on that point, let the government take charge of inspection. No, not by giving them notice, but suddenly, so that they know what happens there. And these people whom the government, they should give a mandate to go and inspect. They should be real people, just as my fellow panelists have alluded to. Because we don't need those corrupted people to go. They will be bribed because Chinese work with money, cash money in their bags. They are not like whites who wait when you go now to Arabimbia, you go and sell a nugget of gold. Then a white man will tell you to go to the bank and transact through the bank. But this Chinese works with money, red money, kwacha, even dollars in their bags. So if we send people who are corrupted minded, then we are doing nothing. We need to change. The other thing is, let me talk about dependent. We are too dependent on these foreigners who comes, we call them whatever, who come to have companies here in Zambia. We are too dependent as Zambian. We need to come out from this and have a strategy. Last time I give example of Congo. Congo, they are not too dependent on white collar job. They are dependent on doing business. So even us Zambians, if we are to live safe here in our country, we need to change our mindset. Let us keep busy and find something to do. Example given my boss there, Mr. Chigwa, is doing something. I also do something. I don't depend on getting a white collar job, because this is what is killing us. We wait for the investor to come, and those investors are now looking at us like we are prisoners. We are not the owner of this country. No, we are the owner, and let every Zambia understand that this is our country, the only country which God gave us. We shall not have another country apart from Zambia. If this mind is going to be in it and every Zambia, and let every Zambia know the right he or she has when living in this country, and let us contribute where we see something is wrong. Our government also should have that positive way of, when we have the information on the ground, we report to the government. Let the government act in accordance to respond to the cry of the people, so that we improve in living out in this country. Then there is another issue of this copper. This copper, I think the government should come up with building a national smelter. Just like the other panel who was on the panel there, Madam from USA, as he just said, we need to have at least a government central smelter which is going to be purifying copper. We sell copper, a finished product, outside Zambia. We cannot have the same company who has come then also doing the same to purify copper and sell it outside. No, because if we sell this using our government central bank, then that money or dollars will be coming in that bank. It will boost also our economy. This is my contribution. I think I can talk and talk now. I can give it to my fellows.
Thanks, Brother Moses. So, Brother Matthew, how you give us your opinion?
Okay. Anyway, as my fellow panelists have said, it's basically Zambia, the conditions to foreigners are favorable than Zambians, I think, because if you give foreigners, I mean, they come here to invest, they must be ready to pay tax. They can't be given conditions that are, 5 years tax-free. That's, to me, that is really preposterous. How can you do it to non-Zambians? And Zambians, you're charging them so high tax. So the conditions are very unfavorable for Zambians. That's what hoping that the new Dawn government, like President Hakainde is saying, he wants to make foreigners partner with Zambians. But the other problem is with our people, Zambians, we tend to leave it to the foreigners. And if they bribe us, they give us money, we will let them go, literally leave it to them. We would rather be bought off and then let the foreigners run the business. But if we were to be business savvy, be able to stand our ground, say, okay, 50-50, we come into this deal in the gold. Remember last time the gold in the Northwestern, it was sold for 2 million. 2 million is nothing. It's chicken change. Basically, 2 million to invest in gold is like you are just giving the guy a lot, because if we were to just put together 2 million, how many Zambians can donate 100 kwacha each and they'll make 2 million? So we need to have the government to change the conditions on investment with conditions that no foreigner should invest without a Zambian being part of it as a partner. And not just these Zambians that are just paid off, like my brother said, by Chinese being paid off. And when it comes to the actual operation of the business, they don't even take part in it. They're just leaving it to the Chinese, and the rest, then they are paid by the Chinese, and the rest of the raw material is gone to China. This is not business. You need to make it sure in Zambia, stay in Zambia, let it be processed in Zambia, so we can have the benefits of added value added. So we need those conditions to be changed. And even the Minister of Finance should look into this in the way he's giving tax concessions to the foreigners. We need to have more Zambians being given tax, because even mines, we can run these mines by the Zambians, but it's because we are being given conditions that are unfavorable. And tax money chases the local Zambian, the small Zambian, more than they are chasing the big foreigners. So we need these conditions to be changed and be able to do. Like my brother also has alluded to having our own smelter processing. There are Chinese who have smelters, I think, in the copper, mine in Chambishi, there's a processing smelters there and all that. These guys are making money for themselves. But we are not, no Zambian. I don't know if the dollar smelter is still there. I don't know if it's still there. I'm not sure. But we used to have these things before. But now Zambians are not, sort of everything was privatized. Everything now, we need to restart building back this, but we need conditions which will give us favor. We can come in, bring a smelter, do them smelting for ourselves and process the copper at a very, high quality and sell it to the value that is on the market. So these are conditions I'm hoping the new Dawn government will bring in. This be favorable to Zambians, not to the foreigners. Foreigners are there. If they are coming to invest, they should be able to put up, they should be able to pay tax, they should be ready to give to adhere to the conditions that have been given to them. Not you are begging the foreigners to come out, invest in your country. We are the ones who have the wealth and of the minerals and all this. So therefore, we shouldn't be beggars. We should be the bosses who are, controlling the situation, not them controlling us. This is where the government needs to be strong and put conditions that are not, are favoring Zambians, not foreigners only. So it is very, very important that we get, the Zambians involved in gold, in minerals, most of the minerals, like the minerals, back in Northwestern, those were, some minerals were just lost by people stealing. And I'm sure they just store those and sold it to foreigners. So Zambia lost double. So this is what we need. You sell the mine to the foreigners. We sell them. We steal the gold and sell it to the foreigners. No, we need security also in the mines to make sure that the gold is accounted for. Like my brother is saying, geologist that can make. You don't need a geologist. You need, maybe we need the military soldiers there to be guarding. Because last time the police stole the whole police station, lost the gold. And how can a police lose the gold in his office? So that means police must have made a lot of money. They must have got rich over that gold. They must have made a lot of money. So we need to have the total control and inspection, total checking, and knowing how the gold is flowing, how much they've produced, and let it go to Bank of Zambia. Let's have the Bank of Zambia buying from the local Zambians so that we can put up, boost the foreign forex and the value of kwacha. So we need these to be looked into and let the government give us favor as Zambians. I think if I was to come up Zambia in the diaspora, we can literally raise, 2 million. You can raise even 20 million just by, if the conditions were good. Because the previous government never even gave us chances. We tried to talk to the, even our commissioner, but there were no good conditions. So we were just like treated, like my sister said, just like the foreigners treat us, even the embassy doesn't treat us with favor. So these are things that we need to look at. Embassy is supposed to be the only contact for us in the diaspora, to be our Zambian. That is our Zambia, where we're supposed to have the freedom and be told, given information, given all the details. But we don't get that stuff. We don't get that information. We need that information so that we can get to know what is Zambia wanting us to invest in, what is Zambia wanting us to contribute towards the development of the country. This is one of the things that we need to be the first point contact, so we can even look for foreign investors. We can partner with foreign investors who are willing to come to Zambia, so we can get them, at our condition, not their conditions. It is time we took control of the wealth in the ground in Zambia, not us being the still using slave masters as our bosses again. Colonial masters should never be, colonialism is already gone, done away with. Let us not get back to it by our own willingness to enslave ourselves by being bought, allowing foreigners to come and buy our wealth and then employing us at a cheap labor, which is so pathetic. You can't be paying 1,000 kwacha to a person, this day and age per month. It's just pathetic. How can you do what is 1,000 kwacha anyway? The prices are so high, so how do people survive? This is where we need to look into this. The government need to look into this. We need a lot of Zambians to be in control of the wealth they are making, not the foreigners, please. We need a change. Change we have got of government. We need change in the economic operation, and advantage to Zambians be given, not us again being enslaved. Another disadvantage, I would say, for our fellow Zambians, because we want quick money. That's another problem. Because when you see a foreigner comes in, shaking, waving $1 in front of you, you think you would even sell your mother for the $1. So we need to get to make sure that if we are entering into partnership, we should be in control of the operation too. Not just being an idle partner who is waiting to be paid at the end of the month. No, you should be active and be like a director in the business and be in control, so that we can reap. But most of the Zambians are just like, you dig, you mine, you sell it to the foreigners, which is not a good thing. And we are blaming the government, we're not having favor or not. No, let's get control and be in there and take control of the operation of the whatever partnership we get into, we must be able to get, the benefit for the nation and for ourselves, because it's time that this, dependency on the foreigners should end. No, we can't develop with the foreigners being more in charge of more wealth than we ourselves, because the foreigners' interest is in his country. That's why they get the money and take it away. Cash. Last year there was a problem of cash flow. Where was it going? It's either the Indians are piling it up, they're hiding it up, the Chinese are taking it away. All these foreigners, all the African foreigners, they're taking it away. And we Zambians are lacking the cash. This is the time to get, once we in the new Dawn government, let's take advantage and work to be patient in business. We shouldn't be rushing to just because the guy comes and flashing money, we sell the land, we sell the business because you want him to, you think he can do better, or because you want just quick money. Quick money flies away. It grows wings and fly away, because you need to keep money, manage money, money management. You need to learn. It is time Zambians started learning to manage the money, not to just spend the money. Please, this is my advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Matthew. So anyway, let's start concluding. So give me your concluding remarks with regards to anything you want to talk about, because we're saying goodbye. It's already been 2 hours. So who wants to go first? I saw Brother Emmanuel had his hand up first. So Brother Emmanuel, give us a quick conclusion. 90 seconds max.
Thank you so much. I'll talk about the issue of policies as to how the playing field can be leveled to support the Zambians to have partners. First and foremost, I would like to agree with my sister in USA, who said Zambians are lazy. Yes, are lazy. But there are some reasons why Zambians are lazy. When someone wants to start something, you will find that the playing field or the level for business, the business field is not even. It's not even. How? It's because of when you want to get a loan, you will find that the rates are quite high. They are not favorable. Then when you do the registration, the process is cumbersome and the requirements are so many, meaning there are obstacles. Even a startup to get a registration of a company, a registration of a business name, it's quite cumbersome. So it becomes difficult. You find now some Zambians, they start backpedaling and stay at home. Even if one had a brilliant idea, a business idea. Then when you look at those who are registered, those who are running companies, taxes also are issues. For instance, Zambia National Council for Construction in Zambia, NCC, it has put categorized the contractors in groups. There is group grade A, grade 1, B1, 1C, 1R, up to grade 6. Then all these categories have got their threshold of tendering. For instance, grade 6, I don't know whether there are some changes now. You will find that the threshold for grade 6, they go up to maybe 7 million. But the tax is not given as a threshold. It will be the same even for one who tenders for billions of dollars. The same 16% VAT, or maybe then the 9% domestic direct tax, which is not okay. It's better according to the way the thresholds are. Even the taxes is supposed to go that way. You will find that you are leveling the business field for people to accept, for people to manage, for people to run the businesses. Look at our DBZ, Development Bank of Zambia. How many has it helped? It just helped those big fish, the political figures, not even SMEs. So there is a need to have SMEs policies, starting with the banks, starting with the banks, going up to ZDA, DBZ, and also the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises. They should have these deliberate policies to ensure that the SMEs are able to carry out businesses. The partnership issue with the foreigners, this should be emphasized. Actually, this should be a very big policy, so that whoever comes in the country does not register, but to partner with a Zambian, so that this person is able to empower, to come with the financial muscle to work with the Zambians, and later on he should be given a period that is going to be bought off, so that he goes back, not doing that business forever and ever. No. So what I'm saying, the business policies should be strengthened. Also, coming to the issue of Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing Development, there are these issues of subcontracting. You find big companies in grade 2, grade 3, grade 4 are the ones which are being subcontracted. But the grade 6, grade 5, they are not subcontracted. So what are we doing? How do you give big companies to be subcontracted when they are the ones which are supposed to subcontract? They get big contracts and subcontract the small companies. So the policy there also should be redefined to ensure that the subcontracting goes to the small scale contractors, that is empowering the contractors in Zambia, so that they are also, they also graduate from being small, they go into medium, from medium they go into commercial. This is what I understand, and we appeal to the government that these policies should be looked at critically, so that everyone is able to benefit in the country. I submit.
Thank you, Brother Emmanuel. So have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Then we will have Brother Jason. Yes, we can hear you now.
I think the submissions are loud and clear concerning mineral resource exploitation by these foreigners, and it's not something which is new, which has started now. It has been there for too long. I think the only problem which is there, it's like the government itself has given a blind eye to that issue. And the problem, I'm repeating myself, is us, actually, the citizens who are on the ground, because we are not vigilant enough, we are not courageous enough to stand our ground, to begin to complain, to say, why are things done this way? Because it has taken too long, Brother Muna, whereby you just see this guy with tropicals in 2 days. He's somebody big. He came on a bicycle, but he goes with a Mercedes-Benz back home to China. And we are talking about these. You ask of a question of how can we handle these undocumented foreigners. I'm still on us, because, if we keep saying that, no, the government has to look in this issue, there is too much corruption with the immigration department. If you look at our borders, Brother Muna, they are two polars. Zambian borders are two polars. To the extent that even people who enter, we don't even know the government, some government agencies who are entrusted with monitoring of foreign entries. They are not even aware. Again, it goes back to us who are on the ground, because being in business, Brother Muna, I learned one thing when I went to Congo to Kasumbalesa. Actually, I went there to get some cosmetics. These guys, they are too vigilant. When they see a foreigner, they even start pointing to them, say, oh, that guy is a foreigner, he has come to do this and that. Ngata uchenjere, bala kuliana mufiafini. Umuforeigner wakulaenda na mwenso, but the problem we have here in Zambia, ngatu amona umuforeigner na nipane baisa, we don't even take interest to find out to say, who is this one? If we just hear, no, this one is a Congolese. Oh, no, this one is a Somalian. He's a Somalian. We think foreigners kwati katuisho for tumona fwema Zambian. It's not only a Chinese. It's not only Abasungu. It's not only Bamweni. But any foreigner that comes in Zambia, I don't know. Especially with our sisters, it is something else. Actually, we even go into extremes of protecting those guys. So it is our responsibility as citizens actually who are found on the ground. Because being a citizen, you should also be a police. You should be a watch. You should be a neighborhood watch actually to see what is happening on the ground. Who is this guy? But we see foreigners, they just move about, they run their businesses about without any disturbance. So we are saying, as Zambians ourselves, let us protect our communities. Let us be vigilant. And let us work together and report whatsoever that we see fishy. Because you can even tell to say, can this be a documented, honestly, a documented foreigner? How can he start selling roasted means? Through means which are right. So that even shows to say, no, this guy is something else. You should begin to suspect. But mwala sango kwe but as Zambian katuishinga nishachi tikanshaishiba. We protect these foreigners so much, especially in Ghana Kashikako. We don't know what we see. We should remember to say, regardless of whatsoever, our skin color is not a boundary we want to. Let us understand our heritage. Let us understand our responsibilities. In as much as we claim to say, no, we've got the rights to benefit from these resources. But are we responsible enough to protect those resources? Are we responsible enough to watch what is happening on the ground and being able to give information to relevant authorities? We don't do that. But we are just good at claiming, no, I've got rights, I've got this and that. But we should remember to say, there is a responsibility attached to any right. For us to benefit our rights, we should exercise certain responsibilities, like monitoring. Who are these people who are coming in our country? What are they doing? They said they will start rearing chickens. But what is happening? We can hear machines like they are doing mining. We take that responsibility. And to the officials, when we give you information, we know you are getting us, you are listening to what we are discussing here. Please, can you act proactively so that you protect? This is your country, you live here, regardless of whatever bribes that you are given. You should remember that you have got your children, you have got your grandchildren who are following you. How are they going to survive if we leave money all over? Where are we going to do agriculture? Where are we going to do different activities that are not pertaining to mining? So let us be vigilant and let us be protective. And to conclude, and on my conclusion, let me talk about partnership with the AMA foreigners. Because Namwishwa Brother Muna, like we always talk about, now Brother Matthews to say we are so fast as Zambians. So that's why even when we are talking about no, I've got this and that, a foreigner will begin to question you, say, what have you done? You are asking a foreigner to partner with you. But when he checks on you, there is nothing that you are doing. And again, we are blaming the government. Because, Brother Muna, there are some of us with brilliant ideas. You have submitted a lot of business proposals. They don't even respond because these guys actually who issue this empowerment, we don't know the criteria and some of the things they consider to empower certain individuals. How do you empower an individual when he gets those funds? He goes and buy an Hilux. So let us, as we empower, let us analyze these people. What have you done? Let us not just look at the names. We need to look at people who are serious. People who are seriously working towards actually fattening the national treasury. We don't have to be using nepotism and the like. No, those things are going to kill us. Let us look at abilities. Let us look at potentials. The authorities. Because small medium enterprise means we don't know whether they are going to be working towards actually empowering people. Because actual business is something which is very difficult to thrive. An idea is oneself, finances is another. So the government should take keen interest in us, in finding out from people, investigating this person who has done this and that. What has he done? Where did you start from? So what are your expectations? How do you project to see yours? But it is like they don't do all those things. They just dish out money. Or because mwana wakwa mkaramba wandi. Or because that chap is a friend, is a daughter of my friend. We work together. So if we are not going to change the way we do things in Zambia, we are not going to see anything moving forward. The only thing that is necessary to be done, starting from the top from the government officials, coming to us, the citizens, we need to change the way we do things. Otherwise, if we just continue doing things the way we do, we will just remain as a consuming society like this. No wonder they don't respect us, these foreigners, because they know our weakness. One, we are supportive to one another. Two, we are not hardworking. And three, there is too much consumption of that's why umuntu techakose nakwata akampanga bamwe bati palitumanganizi. Ukwisa mfave 10,000 kwacha brother Muna. All he thinks about is, let me go and get the trousers, change bafairemo mukashana, iya ashara baye kolerwa namo. And it ends there. So how do you expect as a country to move forward? It is not until we learn to say, we need to start working. We need to start thinking investment. I always tell my fellow guys, Abesa, kuda babantu brother Muna, is busy. Brother Chibo, so are you going to remain doing this same thing today? It didn't get to Alibako fast. I can agree with the brother Matthews. We are so fast as Zambian. We don't know the stages of businesses because we would want to start driving that Porsche car, which somebody who has started the business 20 years ago has, and you also want to be there. That's no wonder. Even certain businesses, they don't thrive because we have got people with a wrong information about how a business is supposed to be run. It is not about you having money, no. There are a lot of things that are involved. You need to be financially disciplined. You need to be somebody who is patient enough to wait for something to be ripened. But mostly, you find that the youths who are running into business, apapene ulefoste Hilux, ulefoste Land Rover. That's why some of us, you might even be looking at us to much of a no, I've got my own projection. I know if I invest in this, once I start working, it will be within a year. And that's no wonder even begin to look at certain individuals to say, Kairi, because of that superstitious na kabunangani, afiafuma kuisa papene. No. Can you trace where that person is coming from? Did he behave the way you used to behave? We used to run the same business, but how come this person is there? No, you are different. The way you did your things and the way it's been doing things, they are very different. So when it comes to investment, it is not something boom. No, it takes time. And these foreigners, they have to gain that confidence in us. Eh? When we talk of confidence, we Zambians are okay nako. Awe kali shota okay nako. So to I'm a government officials, because we are having wrong people in those offices. That's why he cannot refuse to get a bribe of 5,000 kwacha over billions, which are going to be wasted, which are going to be lost by a country. Coming to ourselves, we are not taught enough to say, you need to work. After some times, then that's when you begin to enjoy. Just like that. I submit for now.
Thank you. All right, thank you, brother Jason. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. Okay, so let's pass it over to D. D, give us your concluding remarks, and then talk about anything that you want in about 90 seconds or 2 minutes maximum. We close.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. First of all, I wanted to talk about the same mining. I think the most challenging that we have, it's politics. These days, I think these days politics has taken us, because what we have talked about most, it's politics. When we say that these investors, we need to partner with them. These investors, they will come with a huge sums of money, and then they will give those people who in high position, who are politically motivated, so that in case they make any mistake, any crime in the country, those politicians will protect them. That's why they take advantages of us. When you go in these industries, you find the working condition of these Zambians, it's poor. But when they go and complain to these high officials who are responsible for labor, they'll just tell, okay, we should come to the office. Just there, they'll discuss money will be given. We have seen a lot of these Chinese abusing Zambians. They're taking advantage of them because they are politically motivated. Everything is political. Even I think in the previous regime, these guys in Ndola, in this copper belt, these guys were given a lot of money. That's why they were like showing it off. These empowerments were just going to cadres. No empowerment was going to someone who has got the vision to do something that will, even the community, they will benefit. Everything is just politically connected. When these foreigners they come into the country, they will look at they will look like, for example, I can give for example the contracts they are giving. These contracts they are giving, it's connected, politically connected. When you see these contracts being given, that's why these contracts, they have been given a lot of money, and then they haven't supplied everything which they are supposed to supply to the company. That's why most it's politically connected. On gold mining, when you go to Kasensiri gold mine in Sorwezi, it's politically connected. Even those in Sorwezi, they can tell you these gold mines, these pictures of gold mine, they've got names, government names. Just a government official can just go there and get gold and go back scot-free without anyone tampering with them. We can remember the instance which happened in Northwestern, where the police, where the police had had to get gold from these illegal miners. Where did gold go? Where did that gold go? It just disappeared. Just natural death. No one questioned. But the previous regime just sent some government officials and party officials to go and investigate that scenario. Just government officials, no government agents properly trained. It was just government officials to go and investigate. And then we're supposed to say that investigation to come up, it just died natural death. I think these guys, it's just politics. Everything is politics. So when we are doing this, let's the government or the MPs come up with a policy or come up with a law in parliament that will protect the citizen. We can see in these other ministries, the ministers, the permanent secretary, they are connected. They are having companies connected to the institution they serve. It means it will favor them when given contracts. It will favor them in conjunction with these foreigners. That's why we are complaining that these foreigners are given good terms of condition when working. While Zambians, we are being neglected. It's the same because these guys, the government officials, they are connected. I'm the Minister of Health. I'm the Minister of Education. My permanent secretary. I will look for a company or I'll look for an investor which I will connive with. I wish I will connect with good working condition, as long as it's just given me a lot of money. When those guys come and complain to me, no, this investor is not doing this and this, I'll just call him. Iwe legefe foresta, we shak fe panono. Abantu bachita complain, so we shak fe 1 week chinjako or 1 month chinjako, and then wala bwerera mukuri filafine for wade chitakari. Emanan kaniya lesangwa. Indalama baba pela ya kupanga road, like road construction. We can see that the previous government, road construction, it's where it was corruption. It was politically connected. These guys were given a lot of money to do the work. But when you see right now, like they said in northern Muchinga, these other areas, were given a lot of money to construct these federal roads. As we saw the report which came out. But when you go to these places where that money went, it's terrible. There are no roads properly constructed because those guys are politically connected. They'll get the money, they won't be questioned. Because when you go there or you just say you are a whistleblower, you tell them no, if you come Chinese, but they send the god, but they stashani. Okay, don't worry, you tell them. Parape nife abatumira fo nimwe lero tamwasende god abantu baleshita complain so god mukesa asenda so chapwa nisho fine fe yapo ediash. I think everything is just politically connected. When you see gold mining in these roads, healthy, everything is just politically connected. We saw what happened to the issue of honeybee. Where did the issue go? It was just politically connected. You can see that it was just political. It's just not died a natural death, but people suffered. They are Zambians. So I think we need to come up with a law in parliament that will say no minister, no parliament, no minister, no permanent secretary, no director should be connected to the ministry which these tenders are being supplied to. When we find you, you'll be jailed or you'll face the consequence of the law. I think those government officials, they will start fearing those angles. I thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great night. Dear, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Enjoy. All right, Brother Moses, give us your concluding remarks. We call it a day. Then we'll pass it over to Brother Mayfield, then Brother Oscar.
Yes, dear. I think the government needs to improve, especially on this civil servant. This is my point. When they improve, maybe this servant, like maybe a teacher, gets 3,000. This payment or salary need to be improved by maybe 7p, 8p. By doing so, the corruption will be reduced. Sometimes, why the corruption is high is because of the salary. The salary. Somebody is a teacher, is a parent, a father, whatever. Now he gets maybe 3,500 minus whatever deduction they do, NAPS and ZR, from there. It remains the 3,500. And he has maybe 2 children, 1 who university. It is contributing to the corruption. So, on that point, the government should do, I think ministers and the other people are listening. Just like the way they enjoy, I'm a minister. If they go there in parliament, I can see that everything is almost free. Poverara, allowances and other things, and they are able to take their children abroad. So let even these Zambians Let this government respect Zambians, civil servant. By doing so, we will prevent this disease. Then coming to the mining issue, I'm also appealing again. Let the government build a smelter, a national smelter, where maybe in the future we can have a law which will be saying every mine, be it Kansanshi mine, Lumwana mine, Karumbira mine, just to mention but a few, should be taking concentrate copper to this smelter. And after they have processed it or purified it into a metal, then they sell. Where the central bank sells. When the central bank sells in dollars, those dollars comes into that bank. Then they give these miners their money. In that way, we also going to improve. Then I have a concern on Pasco. Pasco is the chairman, CEO for Kansanshi mine and the Karumbira mine. We cannot have one investor holding or holding up two mines. No. I say no to this because competition is there, is nowhere. We can have at least a different investor from another mine, maybe Karumbira or Kansanshi, just like Lumwana is. When you go to Lumwana, you ask for those who works in Lumwana, how much do they get? What are the condition of services? They are totally different from Karumbira and Kansanshi. So my emphasis on that is the competition. When you have maybe 3 different companies holding up this mine, it will give a boost to those people or workers who are working there. They will be selective. Which mine has the good condition of service so that I can go and work from there. Just as one of the panelists said, getting a one, I think it's Mr. Matthews, getting a 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,500 as a miner, then you are paying a house, a renting house maybe for 1,800. You are remaining with 1,700 if I'm not mistaken by calculation. That money for a month for you to buy food and other things, how are you going to improve? How are you going to build a house? How are you going to maybe to have a farm so that that farm also can produce a good crop so that you buy? Maybe it is going to help you boost up the standard living of your family. Also the Zambian, because when a farmer cultivate something, maybe 1 hectare, whatever, that maize which will come there will help those people surrounding you. You might sell maybe FRA 10 bags or 20 bags washapwa yakulya. You are helping. You are contributing to the national budget. This is how things should be done. Let the miner also improve. Let the Minister of Labor look on the wages of these people who works in the mine. And it is risky there in the mine, especially dry season. There is a lot of dust. Example, like in Lumwana, there is uranium there, and Karumbira. There is Kawako and Kawanga. Also Karumbira main pit, it is like a treated mine, the way they call it themselves. So there are some party which has got uranium, and that uranium is a dangerous stone. Can this so-called environment of Zambia, something like that, look onto that? Let not them sit silence, like if they know nothing. They know whatever we are discussing on this panel. let the government wake up and do the right thing for the citizen of Zambia. We elect them to go there and make laws which is going to be beneficial to us Zambians in this country. I submit.
All right. Thanks, Brother Moses. Have a great night. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So now who's going to go for it? You go? All right.
Can Oscar go first?
Okay, Brother Oscar can go first. Who wants?
I'll give him chance today. Last time it was me.
You're far too kind.
Okay, thank you so much. Just to conclude, I think many people on the panel have underlined important suggestions for our country, especially insofar as treating the foreigners and being proud of being also citizens as Zambians. Vamona, I think ka inferiority complex to alikwata. We don't want to talk about it because a bit of pride, of course. I'm not saying this because I'm out of the country, but ka inferiority complex to alikwata, even in the politics arena. You know, abaya mukustako ka business ku China, ku Dubai, na ku isoko, ku Congo, na ku isa bonse twalishiba kweba team. Inenga na ku China, Bamuna have never been given land in China. I've never been given ama gratuities ngefuture stave ku Africa, ku Zambia. It's unbelievable. Kumfati yo mine takalipira nangu fimo for 1, for 2, for 3, I don't know how many years. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what is going on? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Anyway, of course, on this argument that to run the Sanapandu, Abe Navach that decided they are not there so that we can discuss. You are an innocent person, so I think I cannot involve you in such a discussion. So, if we Ningalanda for 2 things, Vamona, umlandua land. Avena Zambia, it's time that we use the education that we have received. Zambia is insofar as education is concerned, we are much better than the South Africans. And we are much better than some of the SADC countries. Avena Zambia, we are much better. But we don't just apply what we have studied. If you apply, mona if it's tika tefuinendi ku Europe kun. Ku Europe wa mona, when you want to do any business, legal representative. I cannot open a company here. I'm a foreigner. I'm a Zambian. I cannot open a company here without a legal representative who is a citizen of this country. Hakainde Hichilema pali Achan is using a word. What term is he using? It's not legal representative. He's saying value addition. Is it? Let's put value addition, something like that. But if you Sumafia, illegal representative, what does it mean? It means foreigner ngaiven darama oba kesa ikata ni legal representative who is a citizen of that country. So it's a serious situation in Europe. Very, very serious one, Mr. Muna. When you take that responsibility, in Bomba, up to now, as I am telling you, I've worked for about 16 years, paid tax for 16 years. I have never held a legal representative position. I have never held a responsibility of legal representative of my activities. There is always an Italian behind me. Now, if these things, it can happen in Europe, a question mark. Why can't we learn from that? Ama foreigners badish batavena Zambia watu walikuwa taka weakness, aka corruption. Even if our UPND, I'll be a bit harsh on that. Even if our UPND, an example, very classic example, Forest 27. Forest 27, it was going to be, they were going to dismantle whatever was constructed in that place. 2 weeks after, okay, I'll be generous. 1 month after, they were going to dismantle everything. Legally, the law, following the law, because the Forest 27 had no permission to construct any structure. So legally, 1 month time, Gatwali start dismantle everything. Why are we taking all this time up to now? Why are we taking the time? Because Naba UPND, they are involved. I can challenge even Garry Nkombo in Ndelanda. What I'm saying, I can even challenge our minister Garry Nkombo. Why taking long all that much? Because even UPND gentlemen are involved in this shameful thing that they have done. Right. So, legal representative to be responsible for the land responsibility. Elo if land yesu yari kwa tama minerals. Ama land ya kunu takwa wanama minerals. Land ya kunu fiani fie. Paba fie fiani. Nolu nkoto no tumenshi. Chapwa. Ifwete fiani. Tualikwata na gold, na diamonds, na some minerals we have it. Ero batu bati ifwe abena Zambia. Mwalishofu watumpira. I'm going to be very harsh somehow. Nama Indians, nama Chinese, na wonsefu watumpira. Mwalishofu watumpira Mzambia. Because they themselves have become legal representatives of a foreign land. Zambian land to a Chinese is a foreign land. Number, legally speaking, he is a representative of that land. Emuland wine nawa kun northern province abo mwasa mfafi atiyo iland walishisha batampieni bonsa wamo bonsa abantu nabakote abena Zambia baekalamulia for 40 years okuyamuku batampya ngembwa ati nichimule batamfisha ati pandu kwalisa ko nani uko uchitani nani kane alilipira kalenda lama alilipira kale alibaforesha wonse wali nokuforesha alibaforesha. This is a very big problem. So legal representative nomba ngatwaisa. The last thing that I wanted to conclude with is this. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambia, well, me, I don't believe that Zambia is a Christian nation, but I respect it because it has nothing to do with Christianity. Zambia, it has absolutely nothing to do with Christianity. Number to Allah respect because it's a law. When I am saying this because kuna nikane ku Italy kuna hawa eko afumina maloza ya chitina judge Jesus Christ. You know that Jesus Christ was judged by the Romans. Okay, he was judged by the Romans. The Romans law judged Jesus Christ. So number aba Romans kuno ama Italians ifyalo balifikosesha sana fye sana nomba ifo fwe bena Zambia ngati twati tusambirireko ngati twakasambirireko Vamuna, we are just teasing ourselves. Why should we tease ourselves, Christian nation? For what? For what reason? Nalanda kuli kalakana nikaneka comedian at for what? For what? For who? For what? For who? Vamuna, bwe bantu bakwalesa. What are we saying? What are we talking about this? Na imwe mwine vamuna na mwisho na imwe alikwate Miranda na ina alimikwatire chipiu. Zambia is a Christian nation. Apamula leta po impupu na vasatanisti.
Kadakari finika marketing campaign because you know by the end of it uri omuntu alikwata abantu abengi so kumupampula influence.
Ninja Shiva, I know what you're talking about. I know that.
Anyway, it's a marketing ploy. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But this is the point. That's what I'm saying. The question, Zambia is a Christian nation, is just a fairy tale. It has nothing to do with the seriousness. If it was very serious, it was going to be something different. Anyway, I conclude, and I'll say goodbye to everyone. But I would like to emphasize on this. Bamuna, let's get the example from Europe. No foreigner should be a legal representative of a Zambian land. When Zambians are going to be legal representatives of the Zambian soil, nama Chinese wakatampo kutuchindika, nama Indians wakatampo kutuchindika. Otherwise, we will always keep despised and underlined. Thank you. I submit.
Have a great evening, Brother Oscar. Always good to listen from you. Then you need to give us the insight of the C virus thing, the corona thing. You need to give us some intel because you're in
on the coronavirus. If there will be even an occasion, I can even contribute because I'm working at the hospital. So we have been tackling this situation very close hand, and I'm all the time involved with these situations. I've seen the restrictions that this country have done to curb coronavirus and to win the respect internationally. There are conditions that they ask you to do. So they have done these conditions, and Italy has won respect and responsibility countrywide and international wide. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thanks. Have a great evening, Brother Oscar. Thank you.
Good night, brother.
The last man standing.
Yes, my brother.
You can pour it. The floor is yours. Just let it out. I can even mute myself and go make some coffee. I'll find you talking. So feel free to go on. I'll just mute myself and then you can continue talking.
All right. Okay, I'm just going to comment about first politics. First, the source of all things that we have the problems is coming from the head. So if the head is sick, the whole body gets sick. So I'm hoping and praying that the New Dawn government will be able to bring in, to enforce the laws that they'll bring in. Because talking of corruption, I hope they will deal with that and make sure that we get the people, the culprits who are responsible for these corrupt practices be brought to book. It is important that the government should enforce these laws, not just to talk about them, because it is like talking to a child and, today you tell him, I'll beat you. And you don't beat it. Tomorrow you say, I'll beat you. And you don't beat it. You keep saying, I'll beat you, and you never even beat the child. The child will take advantage and start, they were just talking. They don't even know how to sort this issue. He doesn't even beat me, he just threatens. So that is what is happening. We need to go to the root cause of this by removing the rotten eggs, let those be removed. The rotten mangoes be removed out of the basket, and let's have the proper, operations in the government. First and foremost, everything comes from the government. The ministers, they are the ones who are supposed to be enforcing this. Their department, they're supposed to make sure that the people that are working with, they're operating with integrity, because this is why corruption is rampant. Because in the government, that's where the people go to make dues and tenders, so they corrupt the people that are responsible. So if those people that are responsible for tenders and all these are not given enough money to be able to live on there, they'll think of other means. So if somebody comes with money, definitely they'll end up being lured into practicing evil corruption and trying to lobby for their to have a tender in their favor. So the government needs to start operating with a firm finger of operation. I would say they should begin to let these politicians, the politicians are able to make policies which should be, the policies you've made so far, they don't feel like effective. They are not as effective. So if the politicians are laid back and not reinforcing what they have made, that means it's like you have given an example of you telling a child, I'll beat you, I'll beat you. You're not beating the child who say, so that is what is happening. So politicians, I hope New Dawn should start acting with a firm hand, because it's not, why would you want policies be made and not enforced? So I'm looking forward to Forest 27 by Garry Nkombo. He started talking about this before the elections. And I was very happy to hear him talking about, we're going to break these buildings after elections. So let's see this happen. No matter even if it's been 3 months, we should see it happen, not just talk and 5 years will end without breaking those houses. Therefore, we will know that it's another just political ploy where you just talk about it. We want to see it done in action. So we need that. Politicians, the problem with the New Dawn so far is that the ministers, the MPs, they're not looking as, what can I say, active. They don't seem to know what they're doing. They seem to be like looking to Hakainde, the president. At all time, it's like they're waiting for the president to initiate what action they should do in their department.
They're still playing defensive. They're not offensive.
Exactly. Because how can you be the director of a department or manager of the department and wait for your chairman to come and tell you what to do? If I was a chairman, I'll just sack you. If you're the CEO, I'll just sack you because you don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to act. And this department, most of the government departments are under the ministers. So let's see the ministers acting and pruning all the bad eggs be taken out, bad apples, bad mangoes. Let them be taken out of those baskets, and let's have clean and fresh mangoes in there, because these are the source of corruption. Corruption is from the civil servants. Civil servants are the worst source of corruption. The lower guys, the big guys, all these, it's from there where the Chinese, all these guys can flush their money. All the foreigners flush their money. The Senegalese, the Lebanese, they flush their money to this so they can get contract. They can go to get even the NRCs, they can go get all the documents in there by just flashing money. It is time that we saw these guys getting action. We need action. We need this department to be taken, to operate with integrity. favor Zambians also. Let there be no, because when you go in an office as a Zambian, they just think, you find how laid back these guys are. The civil servants, they don't want to deal with you. They take their time. I would want to see the president or the ministers putting a period of, tell that a document of this nature can take only 2 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour at the most to do. But you find that documents take so many, they even tell you come tomorrow, come the next. I hope that thing will be cleaned up, that we can get a document sorted out within minutes of the time, because I don't see why we should have these documents taking long. Registration of companies. Why should you hike, for startups? Startups, it's a matter of starting up. You are starting up, it means you have the little money that you want to start up with. Why should you charge us so high? Why is there so high charges when these charges are coming from the corrupt practices? Because the Chinese can come there with 10,000, they don't mind if you tell them 10,000. If you tell them 50,000, they'll still pay. But for an ordinary Zambian, it is very, very hard for them to start up. And the charges, if they're too high, why not differentiate foreigners and Zambians? Zambians should have the lower charges. And the startups, they shouldn't charge them like the foreigners. Foreigners are there, they should prove that they have money. They can't just come in and start without having money. Let's see the money. Show the money before you start being, if you are an investor, you should bring up the money and show us and pay. What is it? Pay as high charges, you can charge them highly. But for Zambians, it's time you considered even taxes. Let the rate be brought down for Zambians, because it is us Zambians who going to develop Zambia, not the foreigners. The foreigners won't develop Zambia. And if we need cash flow, we need small business enterprises. SMEs should be given priority, because they are the ones who produce, who make cash flow within the country. But if you give all the foreigners who are doing the business, then for the cash flow, there won't be cash flow in the country, because foreigners just pile the money and take it away. But we as Zambians encourage small businesses, let them begin to have that cash flow. Therefore, the country will have the money to within the country, not being taken away out of the country. So we need to have that. And even these contractors, how are these contractors offered? This is where most corruption is done, because there's always bribery for tenders and all this. I'm hoping that the government will look into this. The ministers, rather, of infrastructures and all these road and development, RDAs, and they should come up and look at this and begin to make sure that the contractors who are bidding for this, it should be fair for Zambians. Let the Zambians who can prove that they can do that be given a chance, so that we can have, a Zambian doing even road construction. What is there for the road construction? These guys have made roads all these years, and the roads have stayed for a year and not done anything. It's time we brought to Zambians to do it. We can do these roads. I'm sure there's even civil engineers in Zambia. Is there no civil engineers in Zambia who can do a road? This is a time to prove, let's see the government to prove Zambians that they can do the job. So we can begin to get, this is the money that most goes out of Zambia. So we need that money to stay in Zambia, so we can develop Zambia. Because this is where all these big tenders, that's where the money goes. The country is being sucked out. This is where we need contractors, Zambian contractors, Zambian companies to tender for those, road construction and all the other infrastructures which they are able to do. We are able to do, I'm sure. It's very easy. It's not difficult to build a road, to build a bridge. It's because you have not tried the Zambians and to prove them that see what they've done, but you've just given it to the foreigners who have just put dust on the road and then they pour bitumen on it, and then you think they've made a road. Look at Ndola Jacaranda road there at Jacaranda Mall. It's literally, it's like it's, somebody just poured soft soil and poured tarmac on it, which couldn't even cost $1 million to say at least. And this is the road that has made demarcation ridges there, and nothing has been done to get the one who made that road to be brought back to book or to come and redo it. They just escaped, they took the money and ran away. So it is time to bring these guys to book. We need checks and balances. This is a time to make checks and balances. We need to have quality checks. How can you give a tender to somebody and not check their quality of work? This is a time we need to have some quality inspectors, to check after every distance they make the road. You check it out, you test it out, and see if it can withstand the weather, it can withstand the load. Even all this is very simple to check. It's very simple. You just have to, it's not even a complex issue. So it's because there was no inspectors who were able to check after these guys have done a work. You can even check. They do a mile of kilometer of that, and then you put in checks and balances. Check that this road is worthy, and you can see from how much thickness they've made. You can test all of those. It's very easy to test those things. Even a lay person can check that this road, is gonna withstand the weather, withstand the road, the loading of the trucks and heavy duty equipment. It is time we had those checks and balances that be done for every tender and contract given. And I'm looking forward to the new tender which has been given to Chingola and Chingola Solwezi Road. I think I'll personally go and do a test for it during that, to check what they've done. And because it's pathetic that you see a road made today, in a month, in a year, within few months, it's already cracking and, nothing is being done about it. So it is time we got these checks and balances in place, that the politicians, the leaders, the minister in charge should have checks and balances. You need an independent checks and balance, quality checks on there, so that you can not minister, in your ministry where they've been even corrupted and been bribed to favor to not even check what they're supposed to be checking. So it is important that we start having those, checks and quality checks to every tender that they do. Coming to minerals, there is a lot of environmental issues in the mining and all that. This is where people have been abused. The workers do not even get what they're supposed to get. The money they get paid is so small compared to the work they do, and this is where I don't know about the last time we saw, I think it should be maybe Mupani or something, where they use even acids and all that, but you find the workers are not even dressed up in healthy, protective clothing that are, preventing them from breathing in the fumes that have been produced. These are all leading to the check, is quality checks, the environmental checks, the, health checks, and all these are supposed to be done. This time that Zambians, the owners of the land, should enjoy the working conditions. Conditions should be set. The government are not putting any conditions on it. We need to see the New Dawn government putting conditions and making that the environment the people are working in are safe and sound. Please, for the sake of Zambians, because everyone matters, every life matters. The Zambians are worth more than copper and gold. So save their lives by making sure that healthy checks, environmental checks are done even every time, regularly. Not just talk about it, not just come and on the media and talk about it. We need to see that these issues are done. Why are you not emulating from what the others have done? The people, the foreigners, the countries where who are in fact who are investing in your land, they have high quality checks, high environmental checks, high healthy checks. So these are so restrictive that you can't even, you can't do a business if you fail any of these. They are even taken to court. The environmental issues, the health issues, they're taken to court, but Zambians don't have that luxury because the government can't even support them. So it is time we see the new Dawn government do some changes, give them, health and safety should be at premier first thing to be considered. They should check every company that is starting to see their health, and it's not just by it's the health of a person, individuals. They should all be checked regularly and be able to come up with, see that they are healthy at all time and never leave them to the demise of the bosses, who are just interested in making money. We want the Zambians to be healthy and be protected from environmental issues, from health issues. So even the country, we are talking about this year, it was COP26. We need that. The green economies, we need our economy to be green, but I don't see that happening in Zambia. So soon the mining are still falling short of, to those environments. So we need to see those being, the government to bring up some checks and balances in that area. We need that. So basically, to my people, Zambians, please do not rush into getting into deals with foreigners. I can't believe deals with foreigners makes your country go poor and you also become poor. The economy of the country is going down because foreigners have just come to make money and go away. That is money which is supposed to be in your pocket. It's going out to foreigners because you are making deals with foreigners, Lebanese. You just working for them for peanuts. How can you work for 1,800 per month, 400 per month? This is not. What kind of working condition is that? I think it's time we introduced, the government introduced some improvement in the payment. It's time that we had, at least 2,000 would be a good start for labor, which is the lowest payment. Because if you compare that to the cost of living, it's so much little. Let's have, the economy, the pay salaries and all these reviewed and looked at, because companies are taking advantage because the government seems not to be, taking part into the decisions of how much the, minimum wages should be given to the people. So we need a minimum wage introduction, which would help the people so that we can have at least a decent life, people to have money to even, to spare. Because if they're just renting a house and pay out all these, they end up electricity is going up. Is the salaries going to go up? No. So that is one thing we need to be looking at. Have the salaries and the economy, the electricity, the bills going up, so the salaries also should go up. The private sector don't do that. They don't do that. Maybe the government is going to do that now. Maybe you don't. But we want even the private sectors to be influenced in that area, that they pay the people decent wages so that they can live decently. So it is time that we had that forced in. So Zambians, we want you also, like my brother said the other time, he said, try and protect your country. You know, we need to protect the country. These foreigners are there not for you. They are there for their own purposes. They're for their own benefits. So it is time you started, you know, looking out, seeing the action, the things that they are doing which are detrimental to the country, to be able to, you know, tell them, report to the authorities so that we can deal with these people. You know, it's time. Illegal immigrants who are there, you know, let them be taken out. It's time that these guys have not come for your interest. They've come for their interest to make money and not even pay tax. This is not acceptable. So it is time we brought every foreigner who's doing business without proper documentation. Zambians, you should be reporting these people. You should be taking, you know, take responsibility and report this, you know. And because our system also needs updating. The ministers should update every company, every small company should be able to be put on the system. Let there be, you know, computer data, you know, storage where you can put data for every company should be registered. Not just even how, no matter how small it is. The councils, it's time. I think during PF there was no council taking, you know, tax and correcting anything. So it's time now. The councils should go out. They have a right now to go out and start putting, you know, correcting the rates and all that, so that the country can have the taxes. The economy should improve. These are the monies which improve the economy by having, you know, environmental issues sorted out. Because the council have money, they can sort out all these environmental drainage system, sewer system, which is so pathetic in, you know, in Lusaka. That's why we have so many floods in Lusaka, because the sewer system is not, a drainage system is pathetic. How they just dug drainages and left them halfway. They go nowhere. How can you do that? You see people, even the mall, look at Manda Mall. Manda, you know, mall, it's literally flooding in the car park. There's nowhere to drain. The drainage is going nowhere. There's no drainage. So what kind of designers are these that did the designs? It's time we put in proper designs. Check out, why have they not put a drainage which is taking out the water, the rainwater? It's time to have proper inspection, quality check. I'm coming back to quality check. This is when you need to check all these, you know, constructions, check them out, test them out, and see that these gonna work. When the rains come, there will not be any floods, because the drainage system is there, provided for. It's not acceptable. Areas that never flooded, and in the Kaunda era, when I knew that there was, Kanyama was the only disaster area, but now it seems like every compound in Zambia is getting flooded. Why? Because they've done the drainage system, which does not go anywhere. So it is time to check these. Quality checks are needed. So this is very, very important that we put in, you know, proper engineers. You know, why have we got engineers in the offices? Planners, chief engineers. What are they chief for? Eh? What are chief engineers doing in the council? Eh? All these guys. So I heard that they've sent notices to people that have built houses in the rail line. So that's when they're woken up. Anyway, during PF, maybe I forgive them. During PF, there was no proper accountability. So hopefully now we're going to have accountability and have these, proper plans. Let there be a redrawing of Lusaka structural plan on the, all the building construction be done with proper planning and issues of permits to be done properly by engineers and the people in charge. So it is, I can talk for Zambia. I think to talk for Zambia, but this is an ending problem. But we are hoping that New Dawn government will bring in checks and balances of every contract, every contractors, every tenders that they give out, and we shall see more Zambian getting tenders in the New Dawn government. And I'm looking forward to that. As the president has emphasized, Zambians to be first. So I'm hoping to see Zambians first in the tender, and the tenders should be, hopefully there should be public tenders, not private tenders where we don't even see. We just hear that, oh, this company has been given a tender. Let's see tenders given to everybody, even us in the diaspora. Don't forget us. Send us that you are sending a tender, you're putting a tender. We want to see the tender. We can put in our tender, that, so that we can participate in the development of our country. We are willing, but only when the conditions are right. Give us that chance, and we will develop Zambia. Thank you for now. Muna, thank you so much. I can talk for Zambia, so please.
No, it's
Zambia,
very good.
So.
It's very good. We are very happy that you are able to give us all these detailed informations, and we need to hear this over and over and over and over. And
That's
I
true.
believe every change starts with a conversation.
That's true.
Conversation begins to turn into a song. That song turns into more action. So we need to talk about these things, and this is one of the reasons why we are spending our time putting in effort. So Mr. Mtonga, now you're writing Brother Matthew now, because everybody's a brother apparently.
No, you see what happened is, I think I went to, the first one was Safari. Then I went, this is Google.
Yeah, evolving. And Mr. Mtonga, you did bring in a very profound point with regards to the defensive way of operation with regards to the UPND. So let me just play something which is happening on the ground right now. Like the grassroots are really being affected, because right now the UPND are still behaving as if they are in opposition. They are not, they haven't really woken up. So let me just play you something which is currently going on in most of these grassroots level areas. So let me just play this.
Ayamashuya lesoswa yaya bakampyongo ketia kani okusoswa iyo kuti yasoswa kabiri nifire mulanda ati abana mwabalelera pa mishingo epo mwalelera abana umwana nga mwamulelera pa mushingo gushaka michindika eri pusho lyandi gusho umwana nga umwana panga ndamwamulelera pa mushingo akamichindika takamishindike iyo chimone fire chitaba PF na tubalelera pa mishingo ba UPND ba PF. That's why bale tumpila, that's why bale chitira fyonse bale chita na kuno kuine kukitwe mukitwe playing field mumwali meeting yakababa bajela boba nani bonse atitwala tampo bapangira kwa ma structure ba UPND kairi bali shishita efi ali agenda ine mama chikabana kabantu binafona ila kutika fyonse mumba tabeshi batemondi nimfala na bob nimfala na chisote ichi kulu na shedi kalamba na face mask tabanjishibe na leo mfa fyonse fyarela ndikwa mulya tufide ku making sure ati abantu abachita wipe out baiche sana tabakwata na ba SG abatunturu tabakwata fingi balandire ba PF mulya fingi tabakwata na spokesperson mutunturu fyonse tabakwete nibachi pante tabakwete plan nibachi mbwino plan efyo baleso samudya nomba kabiri tumwetanga mwaso satapale ko file shala mulwerere akalafya kayimbiri obukinga nenshi kushawiramo abantu abana ababalowa akalafya n'ababalowa akalafya n'abalowe ko akalafya ba UPND n'abatulowa okulaba fyonse okulabako namulaba fyonse fe bapepeke ba president n'enfuti mumpanga shirerira n'abalaba infuti babapuse obwingi n'abalaba fyonse n'abalaba.
I think this is similar to the point that you raised. You know, the UPN at this particular moment, they're still, you know, they're trying to adjust. They're trying to adjust, but we're seeing a lot of reluctancy, and you know, they just need to sober up and show actual offensive type of leadership, because the PF are regrouping, they're restructuring, they're becoming even better, and these guys they'll knock them off the hinges. So that's the point that you also raised. So people are actually discussing it in most constituencies and on the ground level. This is like a huge discussion. There's a huge debate right now. So it's a good observation from you.
That's true. That's why, like I said, you know, your child, you just saying, I'll beat you. I'll beat you. Today I'll beat you. And you are not beating that child. You think, oh, well, under fear. You just box a dog without biting me. It's without teeth. So that's exactly what Mama Chikaboreka is talking about. You know, that is exactly. That's why they are supposed to be proactive and, you know, action attack this nuisance. They should be bringing in laws that will restrict these guys, because they have got people underground who are working.
And they still have money.
Yeah, and
they're very well
they
funded.
have money. That's money speaks, and money answereth all things. So we need that these guys needs to be put, you know, in their position. They lost position. They cannot be rising so soon. It's not acceptable. We need to bring them down. Let them know that UPND is in power, not that, you know, all these, you know, it's because there seem to be no action. You know, no action from the ministers, no plan also. That's what it seems like. But there's a plan. But then nobody is looking like, and the ministers are looking like, oh, where do I start? You know, not knowing where to start. But these guys, they should start from their department, in their ministry first. Start there and thrash out every idol, every, you know, hidden cartels who are acting against them. This is the time to flash out. They have the authority. They are the ministers. So they don't expect that everything the president should be saying, you know, just come to their department and fire those that you suspect. Check them out. Check them out. Investigate them. They are there. You know, it's simple, straightforward. That's what I'm talking about. Checks and balances. It's quality checks. These guys, they're not worth it. You know, if you can find the MPs who stood in the post because with the forged Form 5 certificates, what about in the offices? What do you think? There's already some people who just forged, you know, their certificates or bought them and, you know, duplicated.
And I'm a beneficiary.
So,
yes.
So we need that. We need to get these guys off this, you know, we need to check them and flush them out.
Definitely. All right, so let's call it a night. Today we've done the marathon, 3 hours 23 minutes. I think we once did almost 5 hours. So yes, thanks to your long-windedness. All right. Okay. Have a blessed evening, Mr. Mtonga. Thank you very much. Looking forward to talking to you again. So to all the viewers out there, thank you very much. This has been your community TV station, Z Corner. And of course, oh, the camera is right over here because there's another one there, so sometimes I get confused. So thank you for helping us, grow. So just like I keep on saying, the least that you can help us with is the least thing that you can do is share this video on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook pages or rather groups, because we really need to grow and amplify our voices. When we grow, we are obviously going to have more impact. And as you can see, our interest is in seeing Zambia get developed and in improving the livelihoods of Zambians. We are not doing this because we want to get so and so position in the government. As a matter of fact, a lot of us are doing our own businesses, but we have a passion for Zambia. We understand how powerful Zambia can be, how economically emancipated Zambia can be, but it takes coordination. It takes us being resilient and just letting the government know where we want to go. So that's why we need to be here on a daily basis and just continue singing these songs. And then they are definitely going to listen to us, and we are going to see the much needed changes that we need to have. So this is one of the reasons why we have a passion of doing this. So this is my passion, and I can do this for free all day, any day, every day, because I'm genuinely interested in, seeing the lives of Zambians improve. So this is one of the reasons why we put our own resources and just do this on the side, because by the end of it all, it doesn't really make any sense for me to make a lot of money and then the rest of the people are suffering. Like, what's the point of being rich or wealthy or being well off when everybody else is at the bottom? It doesn't really make any sense. So as much as we've got individual ambitions, we should look at the collective well-being of the majority of Zambians. So to all the people in the diaspora, to all the people in Zambia, we need to collectively improve the lives of Zambians, and we need to think about where we're coming from, because what's the point? What's the point of being educated if you can't really bring any impact to, your homeland? So this is one of the reasons why we are here. It's not because we are looking for promotions or for any other monetary benefits. We are here strictly for the love of our land, and we were born in that land. We're probably going to go back and die in that particular land. So this is what we are advocating for here on ZESCO. So kindly help us grow and amplify our voices so that we can help the majority of Zambians. Thank you very much. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. So take care, and we will see you probably tomorrow. I hope we're going to have some good news to, discuss. Thank you, and God bless you.